Well, hello again, baseball fans. We're coming to you from East Lake, Ohio. It's Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. My name is Kyle Hoehne. We're getting set for Game 2 for the Lynchburg Hornets baseball team in their NCAA Division III National Championship, the D3 World Series from East Lake, Ohio. Lynchburg getting set to take on Misericordia, the Cougars from northeastern Pennsylvania. We're going to tell you a lot more about these two teams, but we did want to jump on and say right away that we're in a delay. Again, it was supposed to be a 1:15 first pitch. That won't happen. The announced first pitch time is going to be 1:50. So we're going to be on, again, around 1:40 or so. We'll recap everything that happened yesterday. We'll tell you more about Misericordia, how these two teams stack up. This is going to be game number 6 of the tournament, and it's game 2 for both these squads. They were both winners yesterday, but we'll run all that down for you. We wanted to get you some fun stuff that we did yesterday with the post-game press conference. We got a few videos for you as well. We're going to get those going for you on the YouTube stream here. So you got options. You can stick around. You can watch this stuff, or you can come back and join us around 1:40 or so. We'll just let these videos loop through, and we'll have fun with that, and then we'll get set for baseball here. It's another beautiful day to play in northeastern Ohio. Lynchburg has, of course, enjoyed their time here, and we're going to enjoy talking to you more about this fun ride that Lynchburg has been on. The Vibes Train Express is a real locomotive. It continues to roll down the playoff track, an undefeated 11-0 in playoff baseball, postseason baseball right now for these Lynchburg Hornets. So we'll be back in just a second. Sit back, enjoy yourself. Again, announced first pitch time for this game will be 1:50. So we'll try to come back on around 1:40 or so, get a little mini pregame show going on for you, and then the action will be right around the corner. And yes, there are, again, the video options available. We appreciate the folks that are going to try to match up the video with our audio. We know we got some folks in the stands that are getting in on the audio and trying to match that up as well. I guess the real savvy, technologically sound folks will tell you got to refresh the browser and refresh things, close maybe in between innings or every couple innings to get everything synced up that way, and then you stay together with the action. But you can figure it out. You're smart. We appreciate you tuning in. Now you are going to be listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And we'll grow in number, fueled by thunder, see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Looks on to get the sign from Sean Pokerock. Runner on first, 1-2, 2 outs. Here it comes, and he got him. Another strikeout for Wesley Arrington. He Ks 12 in another complete game performance. The Sheriff has done it again, fans. Just when you think Lynchburg can't get any more from Wesley Arrington, he delivers another postseason gem.
Well, Coach, welcome to the Game 2 press conference. Lynchburg 7-2 winner over Edgecock. Coach Travis Beasley joining us. We have Brandon Garcia and pitcher Wesley Arrington. And then who was our mystery man?
Oh, Kelly McWilliams.
Kelly McWilliams. So welcome, Coach. Have an opening statement for the group, and I'll print off that name tag for you.
Yeah, great game. Obviously, they're an incredibly talented group coming in here. I think, what were they, 46-2. We knew it was going to be a challenge, but I think we knew we had a shot with Wes Arrington on the mound. I think it's last 36 innings possible for him to pitch. He's done 35. You know, we got a shot. You know, and he battled. They hit some balls hard. Obviously, it's a really tough lineup. You know, we made a couple really elite defensive plays early in the game that gave us a chance to kind of expand. And then Wes just with 2 huge strikeouts in the 8th against 2 really good, talented hitters, and we were able to hold on. But great baseball game.
Coach, how big was the early run lead to get up 4-0 early on?
Yeah, huge, especially with that lefty. We knew Gottsman was, you know, he's an elite pitcher. You know, fortunately for us, I think our road here was challenging, was difficult. We faced 2 really talented lefties along the way. Case Western had a freshman lefty. Laverne had a freshman lefty. So I think while they're a little bit different, and the young man today, I believe he's an All-American, you know, he's really good. But I think that prepared us. I think we came in, we didn't have to do a whole lot different than what we've done the last 2 weeks. Guys competed, had a couple really good at-bats, and were able to capitalize. And, you know, then beyond that, it's about putting pressure on them and trying to just tack on 1 or 2. And, you know, again, with Wes on the mound, we know we don't have to go out there and put up a huge number. You know, he's going to compete. He's going to give us a chance.
You know, you talked about the path you took to get here. you also had the last man standing last year. Is there something that goes along with that, these guys expected? They see number 8 next to their name, but they don't feel like they're the 8?
No, they don't. And we talked about that. We're happy to be here. Whatever edge we can play with, so be it. But we really don't need the edge, truly. It's hard to explain, and when people ask me, I know we sat in a meeting last year. I mainly work with the pitchers and talked with the pitchers, and it was like, man, our goal as a coaching staff is to stay out of your way this week. And as a the coaching staff this year is no different. These guys somehow know how to perform, relax with confidence in the biggest stage, and they've played their best baseball all year. The last 4 weeks, the last 11 games, when it's supposed to matter the most. And that's not from us. That's them. That's them playing with confidence and belief that they've learned the last 2 years.
Wesley, can you talk about that jam in the 8th inning? Obviously you're at a bases loaded spot, and then you kind of bear down and get those last 2 guys striking out.
Yeah, I mean, kind of start off the inning pretty quick. Next, I look up and there's 2 runners on, but just trying to attack early, and they put some good swings on, and then when they got down to it, it's just staying focused and relaxed, just making my pitches, and it worked out. So.
I was going to say, it didn't seem like you got super emotional at any point in the game when I was watching you at the end of the pitches. Am I missing? Are you hiding that? Am I missing it?
No, I mean, I try and keep it within I think I pitch the best when I'm the most relaxed, and I've been in situations like that before, so I know that I can get out of it, and so it's just about executing and not letting it, not letting the moment get too big. And just, putting everything into one pitch at a time.
We've got kind of the defensive backbone right here, right behind you too. Can I get either Brandon or O'Kelly to talk about what it's like playing behind him when he's going, especially when he's striking out 12 guys and giving you guys a bit of a break?
Yeah, I mean, when a guy's pitching his butt off, you want to do anything to back him up. I think we all have the mindset that any of the guys who are on that mound, we want to do anything we can for them. It's a little easier when a guy has 12 punches, but yeah, it's just about doing everything we can to back him up. We know he has our back on the mound, and it's just about going out there and fighting for him. So.
Yeah. Was there anything to add?
I'll say just being able to ditto to what he said. I mean, he's a great pitcher all on his own, so when we're out there helping him and getting extra outs and making plays, it's just less for the offense to work with, and that just creates a really tough matchup for the other offense.
Wesley, your coach talked about the run you're on right now. 35 last 36 innings, you've just been a bulldog. What's it been like? I mean, have you ever been locked in on any level like you've been locked in right now?
No, not at all. It's just, I don't know. I just look up and it's the 6th. I'm like, I got a shot to finish this game, and that's, that's the goal. It's just to pitch as long as I can, and it just, happened that it's been a couple starts in a row where I'm able to pitch in the 8th and 9th.
When you're throwing 139 pitches, I think you had 132 pitches today, and you did limp down the stretch. I mean, you struck out 5 of the last 6 batters. Did you get stronger as the game went on?
Yeah, I definitely think my stuff got better as the game went on. And the 6th or the 7th inning in that jam, I think just striking those 2 guys out, it really just kind of propelled me, and just got my adrenaline going a little bit more. Taking my mind off of being tired and just pitching. So.
Can I ask you to be a little more specific about what kind of stuff is working better when you're tired, maybe?
I mean, today, the slider just got better at the end of the game. Yeah, that was pretty much it today.
Coach, have you ever seen anything like this before? I mean, a dominating stretch, 35 or 36 innings, where he's just punching people out.
It was close last year when we were in Cedar Rapids, with CG out there, and then getting the last 5 outs in the championship series against Johns Hopkins. But, in contrast, he's talking about the 6th, looking up and got a chance to finish the game. As a coaching staff, we're looking up in the first inning in the game. He starts, hey, I got a chance to finish the game. So it's a testament to him, the work. It's been a heavy workload the last 4 weeks for him, no doubt. But the work that he puts in and has put in for 5 years, prepares him. And the conversation after the 7th and after the 8th, like he's earned that right to have that conversation and make that decision. We have complete trust in him, as to, hey, what do you got left? And he wanted the ball, and credit to Mike Solbach, our pitching coach. Mike's helped me the last 7 years, and he's taken over way more of a responsibility this year, pretty much calling every pitch, and I just try to chime in here and there. But they have a great working relationship, and it's been a whole heck of a lot of fun to watch. And again, we're just trying to stay out of Wes's way and enjoy it. Days like today, you feel more like a fan than a coach.
For O'Kelly and Brandon, you guys, of course, wrap around number 9, number 1, right? A big part of the offense today. What were you guys seeing that was working, that sort of thing? What were kind of pitches you were getting and hitting today?
I can take it.
All right.
I got you. I'd say most of the time everything starts with us. We want to stay disciplined, stay within our zone, and hit our pitches. And every time we have a conversation, he's always like, "Hey, just pass the baton. It starts with us. You do it, and then I'll do it." And we just try and keep our roles as simple as possible and make it easy for the guys behind us.
Yeah, I mean, the dude they had on the mound's really good. He's a really good pitcher. We knew that coming in, and I think OG gave us a really good game plan that we just had to compete, find any way on. It's really hard to we put up 10 hits today, and on that pitching staff, it's pretty good. They have a lot of good arms, and it's just finding ways to get on. And then once we have guys on, just putting pressure on them anyway. Taking advantage of a couple mistakes, but it's just really competing up there and making them work. So
You talk about competing, Brandon. When you come into this game and you see that they're the 46-2 team, they're the ones who's the favorite. Is there a motivation that goes along with that? To say, hey, don't forget about us. We still have the banner.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there's no doubt. We don't really care about the seeding that much. We're here. And that's really all that matters. Whoever we face, we're ready to go. But there's no doubt that 8 next to our name gives us a little motivation. But they're a really good team. You have to be motivated at any team you play. This time of year, they're all going to be really good. But there's no doubt there's a little extra motivation behind it for sure.
Coach, can I ask just, getting a complete game performance today, how this helps set you up for the rest of the tournament pitching-wise?
Yeah, I guess it was our blueprint last year. We had 3 in a row last year. So, and that's a big part of the reason why we've kept advancing. When you can look up and get to day 2 and have a fresh bullpen. I mean, they got a couple guys hot, so a couple guys close, but to look up and those guys not having to throw 1 inning, going into game 2, that's huge. I think this run started with Wes's no-hitter 4 weeks ago, and we just kind of built off that. And our pitching staff, we've been ups and downs, a little inconsistent this year, but not the last 4 weeks. And I think a lot of that is just seeing what Wes does and trying to, maybe not top it. It'd be hard to do, but certainly build off that and take that same confidence out there, each guy that Wes takes out there.
Any more questions, anybody?
I have one just for any of you. How important is it to sort of stay even-keeled throughout this whole World Series? The obviously defending champions take down the number 1 seed today. Going into the rest of the weekend and the rest of the World Series, how important is it to sort of leave today in the past and focus on tomorrow and the next opponent to come?
I think it's really big. Obviously, the experience that we had last year, no doubt, is a big-time help to have that mindset. Bees talks about it a lot, the shower rule. Once you take that shower, you forget about what just happened, you move on to the next day. But it is I think, big-time help to have last year in our back pocket. Help out the new guys for sure. But yeah, an even kill mindset, kind of like Wes talked about for him personally, but for us as a team, we play best when we're relaxed and kind of just, playing our game. And it's just one game at a time. It was a great win today against, really, really good team. It's definitely a big-time win to set us up, but we know we're not done yet. We came here for, 5 or 6 wins? That's just 1, so.
Looks on to get the sign from Sean Pokerot. Runner on first, 1-2, 2 outs. Here it comes, and he got him. Another strikeout for Wesley Arrington. He Ks 12 in another complete game performance. The Sheriff has done it again, fans. Just when you think Lynchburg can't get any more from Wesley Arrington, he delivers another postseason gem.
Well, Coach, welcome to the Game 2 press conference. Lynchburg 7-2 winner over Edincock. Coach Travis Beasley joining us. We have Brandon Garcia and pitcher Wesley Arrington. And then who was our mystery man?
Oh, Kelly McWilliams.
Kelly McWilliams. So welcome, Coach. Have an opening statement for the group, and I'll print out that name tag for me.
Yeah, great game. Obviously, they're an incredibly talented group coming in here. I think, what were they, 46-2. We knew it was going to be a challenge, but I think we knew we had a shot with Wes Arrington on the mound. I think it's last 36 innings possible for him to pitch. He's done 35. We got a shot. And he battled. They hit some balls hard. Obviously, it's a really tough lineup. We made a couple really, really elite defensive plays early in the game that gave us a chance to kind of expand. And then Wes just with 2 huge strikeouts in the 8th against 2 really, really good, talented hitters, and we were able to hold on. But great baseball game.
Coach, how big was the early run lead to get up 4-0 early on?
Yeah, huge, especially with that lefty. We knew Gottsman was, he's an elite pitcher. Fortunately for us, I think our road here was challenging, was difficult. We faced 2 really, really talented lefties along the way. Case Western had a freshman lefty. Laverne had a freshman lefty. So I think while they're a little bit different, and the young man today, I believe he's an All-American, he's really, really, really good. But I think that prepared us. I think we came in, we didn't have to do a whole lot different than what we've done the last 2 weeks. Guys competed, had a couple really good at-bats, and were able to capitalize. And, then beyond that, it's about putting pressure on them and trying to just tack on 1 or 2. And, again, with Wes on the mound, we know we don't have to go out there and put up a huge number. He's going to compete. He's going to give us a chance.
You talked about the path you took to get here. You also had the last man standing last year. Is there something that goes along with that these guys expected? They see number 8 next to their name, but they don't feel like they're the 8?
No, they don't. And we talked about that. We're happy to be here. Whatever edge we can play with, so be it. But we really don't need the edge, truly. It's hard to explain, and when people ask me, I know we sat in a meeting last year. I mainly worked with the pitchers and talked with the pitchers, and it was like, man, our goal as a coaching staff is to stay out of your way this week. And as a coach, the coaching staff this year is no different. These guys somehow know how to perform, relax with confidence in the biggest stage, and they've played their best baseball all year, the last 4 weeks, the last 11 games, when it's supposed to matter the most. And that's not from us, that's them. That's them playing with confidence and, belief that they've learned the last 2 years.
Wesley, can you talk about that jam in the 8th inning? Obviously you're at a bases loaded spot, and then you kind of bear down and get those last 2 guys striking out.
Yeah, kind of start off the inning pretty quick. Next, I look up and there's 2 runners on. But they're just trying to attack early, and they put some good swings on. And then when they got down to it, it's just staying focused and relaxed, just making my pitches, and it worked out. So.
I was going to say, it didn't seem like you got super emotional at any point in the game when I was watching you at the end of pitches. Am I missing? Are you hiding that? Am I missing it?
No, I try and keep it within I think I pitch the best when I'm the most relaxed. And I've been in situations like that before, so I know that I can get out of it. And so it's just about executing and not letting it, not letting the moment get too big. And just, putting everything into one pitch at a time.
We've got kind of the defensive backbone right here, right behind you too. Can I get either Brandon or Hoehne to talk about what it's like playing behind him when he's going, especially when he's striking out 12 guys and giving you guys a bit of a break?
Yeah, when a guy's pitching his butt off, you want to do anything to back him up. I think we all have the mindset that any of the guys who are on that mound, we want to do anything we can for them. It's a little easier when a guy has 12 punches, but yeah, it's just about doing everything we can to back him up. We know he has our back on the mound, and it's just about going out there and fighting for him. So.
Yeah. Was there anything to add?
I'll say just being able to ditto to what he said. I mean, he's a great pitcher all on his own. So when we're out there helping him and getting extra outs and making plays, it's just less for the offense to work with, and that just creates a really tough matchup for the other offense.
Wesley, your coach talked about the run you're on right now. 35 last 36 innings, you've just been a bulldog. What's it been like? I mean, have you ever been locked in on any level like you've been locked in right now?
No, not at all. It's just, I don't know. I just look up and it's the 6th. I'm like, I got a shot to finish this game, and that's, that's the goal. It's just to pitch as long as I can, and it just, happened that it's been a couple starts in a row where I'm able to pitch in the 8th and 9th.
When you're throwing 139 pitches, I think you had 132 pitches today, and you did limp down the stretch. I mean, you struck out 5 of the last 6 batters. Did you get stronger as the game went on?
Yeah, I definitely think my stuff got better as the game went on. And the 6th or the 7th inning in that jam, I think just striking those 2 guys out, it really just kind of propelled me, and just got my adrenaline going a little bit more. Taking my mind off of being tired and just pitching. So,
can I ask you to be a little more specific about what kind of stuff is working better when you're tired, maybe?
I mean, today, the slider just got better at the end of the game. Yeah, that was pretty much it today.
Coach, have you ever seen anything like this before? I mean, a dominating stretch, 35 or 36 innings, where he's just punching people out.
It was close last year when we were in Cedar Rapids, with CG out there, and then getting the last 5 outs in the championship series against Johns Hopkins. But, in contrast, he's talking about the 6th, looking up and got a chance to finish the game. As a coaching staff, we're looking up in the first inning in the game. He starts, I got a chance to finish the game. So it's a testament to him, the work. It's been a heavy workload the last 4 weeks for him, no doubt. But the work that he puts in and has put in for 5 years, prepares him. And the conversation after the 7th and after the 8th, he's earned that right to have that conversation and make that decision. We have complete trust in him, as to, hey, what do you got left? And he wanted the ball, and, credit to Mike Solbach, our pitching coach. Mike's helped me the last 7 years, and, he's taken over way more of a responsibility this year, pretty much calling every pitch, and I just try to chime in here and there. But they have a great working relationship, and, it's been a whole heck of a lot of fun to watch. And again, we're just trying to stay out of Wes's way and enjoy it. Days like today, you feel more like a fan than a coach.
For O'Kelly and Brandon, you guys, of course, wrap around number 9, number 1, right? A big part of the offense today. What were you guys seeing that was working, that sort of thing?
Well, hello again, baseball fans. It's Kyle Hoehne, and welcome back to Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. It's Northeast Ohio, where the Lynchburg Hornets National Championship defense is off to a great start. It's really a continuation of what's already been an incredible postseason. Lynchburg takes down the number 1 team in Division III baseball yesterday, defeating the Endicott Gulls 7-2. It was just the 3rd loss of the season for the Gulls, and it came at the hands of this Lynchburg Vibes Train Express, this locomotive that keeps on rocking and rolling. It's an undefeated postseason for Lynchburg at 11-0 now, and they are proving that this is no ordinary 8 seed. Yes, Lynchburg came in as the number 8 seed to this national championship tournament, the Division III World Series. But Lynchburg, again, is just not your ordinary 8 seed. In fact, they are the defending national champions from last year. It is really just impossible to find a team in Division III baseball that's playing with more momentum, more confidence, and more vibes right now than these Lynchburg Hornets. To recap the 7-2 win yesterday a little bit, and you really have to start with the Sheriff, Wesley Arrington, on the mound. He was at his best again. Yeah, what else is new for Wes Arrington, right? A postseason resume for the Sheriff that was already unmatched. I think it just got even better yesterday as he throws another complete game. It's his third complete game of the postseason. Don't forget, there's a no-hitter in there in postseason play against Randolph Macon. But Wes, yesterday, a complete game. He struck out 12, including 5 of the last 6 hitters. And Wes actually recorded the last 6 consecutive outs with strikeouts. All the outs in the 8th and 9th inning were recorded with the strikeout. So he sprinted to a finish. Did scatter 10 hits, but one thing that I loved, and I think one thing that stood out to everybody, no walks for Wesley Arrington yesterday. He did not walk any. There were some full counts. There were some 3-ball counts for sure. But Wes Arrington was just outstanding again. And now Lynchburg has all the bullpen options available. Everybody is fresh and ready again for Lynchburg. And the bullpen was not necessary, and it seems to not be necessary very often when Wesley Arrington is on the mound. Another postseason win, and now he is an undefeated 5-0 in postseason play with a 1.08 earned run average, and he's striking out over 8 per game. That is Wesley Arrington at his best when he needs to be his best. How about the Hornets' offense yesterday, though? Plenty of sting from the bats as Lynchburg puts up 7 runs on an Endicott pitching staff that has the best ERA in the nation, at least before yesterday anyway. Lynchburg hit 5 doubles. They get 10 hits themselves. Eric Hyatt had 2 doubles. O'Kelly McWilliams had 2 doubles. And how about the leadoff man, Brandon Garcia? He was his usual star-studded Hollywood self. 2 hits for BG, 3 RBI. We thought he had another hit and an RBI, but they actually ruled that an error, and Brandon Garcia made a couple fine defensive plays, a couple highlight reel defensive plays. In fact, 1 or 2 there that did make our little highlight package to go along with the post-game interviews yesterday. Sean Pokerock was on base 4 times yesterday for the Hornets. In fact, 8 of the starting 9 for Lynchburg reached base at least 1 time. It was an error-free day defensively, some pressure base running as well. So that all adds up to another classic Lynchburg win, another in a long list of outstanding days for Lynchburg. But as you know, it's baseball. There's always another day. There's always a tomorrow, and that day is right now as we get set to watch Lynchburg battle the Misericordia Cougars. The Cougars are 39-9 this season. They are coached by Pete Egbert in his 17th season. They are going to be a very formidable opponent. Misericordia has won 12 straight. They won yesterday over Pomona Pitzer 6-3. That was game 1 of the tournament. Lynchburg and Endicott played in game 2. So now we're up to game 6 in the tournament. Earlier this morning, Endicott eliminated Pomona Pitzer in the losers bracket game of this upper pod, this bracket 1. Randolph Macon, Wisconsin Whitewater, Birmingham Southern, Salve Regina, they're all in the lower bracket, bracket 2. And those 2 pods or brackets will not match up until that national championship series. So we'll be reviewing some of those details as the day goes on, but you can find all the information at lynchburgsports.com and then click through to get the links on the NCAA website as well. But this is game 6 of the tournament. It's game 2 for Misericordia and Lynchburg, and this game means a lot. If you win this game, you actually get a day off tomorrow. You move to game 11, where you would meet the winner of the losers bracket teams, which right now Endicott is in that losers bracket, and they are 1-1 in the tournament. Endicott beat Pomona Pitzer earlier this morning 7-6. The Endicott Gulls were actually down 6-2 in the 4th, and they rallied, ended up getting a walk-off victory. So more about the Gulls, and we'll talk more about whoever Lynchburg needs to play next. But the situation is the loser of this game will play Endicott tomorrow at 10 a.m. in game 9. Actually, it's at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Misspoke. But that'll be in the losers bracket game 9 tomorrow. The winner of this game is off until Monday. And then we'll revisit all those particulars when we need to towards the end of the game. Tell you more about this Misericordia squad. Again, they are 39-9. They've won 12 straight. They play out of the MAC Freedom Conference. It's interesting because yesterday there were no common opponents between Lynchburg and Endicott. That is not the case with Misericordia. They have played 4 teams that Lynchburg has played. Let me run them down for you. Misericordia played Shenandoah on February 19th, split a doubleheader. They played Marietta, which is a team Lynchburg beat early in the season. Misericordia split with Marietta. They played York one time on March 12th, lost to York. And then Misericordia has played Christopher Newport twice and beaten Christopher Newport. If you add up the common opponent records, which is fun to do sometimes, Misericordia is 4-3 against common opponents. Lynchburg 3-5 against common opponents. So there's some interesting stuff in there, and you can read into that as much as you want. Things will be decided on the field here in just a moment. Lynchburg is actually ready to take the field. Hornets will be the home team today. They won the coin flip yesterday. So Lynchburg wearing all white jersey, white pants, black hat with the red trim. Misericordia will be in gray pants with a dark blue top. It's got some gray on the jersey. They've got an all blue hat with an MU yellow logo in the middle. Hornets do take the field. So we're about set for first pitch. It'll be Nick Matfield on the mound for Lynchburg. He's been outstanding in the postseason run as well. Nick Matfield, a senior now. He's getting back to that form that he featured a couple seasons ago when he was the Old Dominion Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year. He will be taking on a very tough Cougar lineup. It'll feature Garrett McElhaney at the top. He's a grad student that has over 200 hits in his career. More about the lineup in just a moment, but let's set the defense for Lynchburg. The battery mate for Matfield today will be Riley O'Donovan. So that's a change for Lynchburg, but a planned change. Riley has been catching Nick Matfield pretty much the entire season. Rest of the defensive alignment and lineup is exactly the same. It's Eric Hyatt to start at first base, Ben Jones at second, his high school teammate, the Cape Crusader duo of Jones and Brandon Garcia. Hollywood, BG playing shortstop. Gavin Collins, the senior, is at third. In the outfield, left to right, it's Eddie Gimble in left, O'Kelly McWilliams the fourth in center, and Quinn Madden in right field. The DH for Lynchburg again today is Joe Munitz batting seventh. Lynchburg coached by Travis Beasley in his first season, which is always fun to say, and it's a really interesting tidbit that has not been brought up too much here in East Lake, Ohio. The fact that Lynchburg did go through a notable coaching change, but I dare say you'll find a more seamless change ever in the history of sports than Travis Beasley taking over for his great friend Lucas Jones. Of course, Lucas Jones is now the associate head coach. Beasley was the associate head coach last season. So the coaching change hasn't come up too much, and when you win a bunch of games, maybe that makes sense that it would not come up very often at all. Nick Matfield will be making start number 16 on the season. I believe that ties him for the Division III lead with Wesley Arrington. And then also Drew Ramos for Randolph-Macon has 16 starts as well. And note for the ODAC fans, Randolph-Macon did lose to Wisconsin Whitewater yesterday, 11-3. Macon actually went up 3-0 in the top of the first, but Whitewater explodes for 11 runs. So Randolph-Macon is in the loser's bracket on their half of the draw, and they'll be taking on Birmingham Southern in a loser's bracket game 7. That happens right after this at 4:45. First pitch coming up from the righty Nick Matfield. He'll operate exclusively from the stretch, and it is a ball low. We are underway from East Lake, Ohio. Another great day to play, about 8 or 9 degrees warmer than yesterday. Light winds look like they're blowing out to left center. There has been only 1 home run so far in the 5 games here at East Lake. Nick Matfield peppers the inside corner with a strike, and it's an even 1-1 count to the leadoff man, Garrett McElhaney. Jack Regine will follow things up. Brock Bollinger, Connor Marionak is the cleanup hitter. Joe Commons is batting 5th. Jared Hoffman 6th. Jason Sanfilippo will bat 7th. Brooks Ken Wisher, is batting 8th, and Owen Cordner rounding out the lineup for Misericordia. It's a 2-1 count to McElhaney. Left-handed swinger from Essex, Maryland. Will watch that one nail the top edge of the zone, and now it's even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. McElhaney was 1 for 3 yesterday. There does look like there's a few lineup changes for Misericordia from their 6-3 win yesterday over Pomona Pitzer. We'll try to identify those. Breaking ball from Matfield is north of the zone, so now it's a full count, 3-2. And for Misericordia, They scored 1 in the first yesterday, 1 in the fourth, and then 2 runs each in the 6th and 9th innings to close out the 6-3 victory over Pomona Pitzer. This ball's put in play. Ben Jones will move swiftly to his glove side. That's his left. Gather and throw to first for the initial out of the ball game. 1 down here in the top of the first. Lynchburg is the home team taking on the Misericordia Cougars from northeast Pennsylvania. About a 5.5-hour drive for Misericordia here to East Lake, Ohio. For Lynchburg, officially the internet says it's 7 hours and 42 minutes from campus, 483 miles. Jack Regine is the center fielder, 0 for 5 yesterday, batting in this 2-hole. He'll offer up a bunt and then pull it back and take a called strike. Looked like a slider from Nick Matfield. Corners are in for Lynchburg, guarding against a potential base hit bunt. There's a fastball that's upstairs for ball 1. Outfield has Regine played the other direction, the opposite field. That's O'Kelly McWilliams, the 4th, stationed a bit in right center. Matfield ready for a 1-1. Here it comes, breaking ball, called strike 2. Matfield features an arsenal of breaking balls that will come at hitters from various arm angles. He'll give you the true old school straight over the top, and then he'll go all the way down to a sidearm or maybe even get a little submarine flare in with it. 1-2 pitch on the way. This ball's put in play softly. Ben Jones will make a routine grab right in front of his body, sling it over to Eric Hyatt at first base, and there's 2 outs now in the top of the first inning. Riley O'Donovan, the catcher, hustling down the line there to back that one up. Again, this is planned. O'Donovan and Sean Pokerock, who had a great day yesterday, have been sharing the duties as the catcher pretty much all season long. Sean Pokerock did get a little banged up in the win yesterday, fouled a ball off of his body, and then all that in addition to the usual bumps and bruises you get playing catcher at a high level like Sean Pokerock does. Brock Bollinger will study a breaking ball that comes in at the knees, and it's an 0-1 count here quickly as Nick Matfield looks like he is switched on and ready for the Lynchburg Hornets. Another breaking ball. Bollinger pounds this. Deep left field. Eddie Gimbel is there, just a step in front of the track to make the grab, and it's a 3-up, 3-down, fast start for the Hornets there in the top of the first inning. We'll step aside for a brief timeout and then bring it back and run down the Lynchburg batting order for you. You're listening to 2024 Division III baseball action here from East Lake, Ohio. It's on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. And our game today is brought to you by Chiniga, MIOS. As we get cranked up again, baseball fans, I would love to take a moment to tell you more about our wonderful sponsor, Chiniga, MIOS. This is a great organization. They're proud to support Lynchburg baseball. Chiniga is like a family. They support each other and every single win that they and the Hornets get. Join a workplace where teamwork and family values really shine. Find your future at MIOScareers.com. That's MIOScareers.com. And it is an interesting name, fans. It actually is an Alaska Native corporation. All the shareholders have to be Alaskan natives, and 100% of the corporation's profits must benefit those indigenous shareholders in the form of dividends, scholarships, educational assistance, elder health benefits, language and cultural preservation, and investment into those objectives. And you also obviously want to create a healthy, sustainable corporate company. But this is just such a great cause, and I really love this. And I'm just excited to even learn more about it and talk about it and learn about the Chiniga Corporation and how they invest those profits back into the Alaskan Native culture and everything that goes along with that. So we will continue to talk about that and learn more. And let's continue to talk about baseball as Brandon Garcia checks in. Hollywood will lead things off for Lynchburg as he has done the past 2 seasons. It's just still boggling to think about Lynchburg starting all those freshmen last year on a national championship team, and so many of them are back here again this season. It's a 2-0 count to Brandon Garcia. Lineup is the same with the exception of the one change for Lynchburg. Garcia, Ben Jones, Quinn Madden. The change comes in the cleanup spot with Riley O'Donovan doing the catching and hitting in the 4-hole. And it's Eric Hyatt, Gavin Collins, Joe Munitz, Eddie Gimble, and O'Kelly McWilliams the 4th. 2-1 count to Brandon Garcia. He'll swing on this and foul it sideways. And now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes for the leadoff man for Lynchburg. He was on 3 times, 2 hits, drove in 3. And great defense again. Just a classic Brandon Garcia day. Got a piece of that one to stay alive. That was a nasty pitch from the starter, Connor Marianac, the junior right-handed pitcher for Misericordia. Comes in at 10-2. This is start number 12. He's got a 1.8 earned run average. Batters hitting just a measly 238 against Connor Marianac. Here comes another 2-2 to Brandon Garcia. He'll put this one in play. Tough one on the right side. Marianac will bounce off the mound, gather, and then sprint to the bag himself for the first out of the inning. 1 down in the bottom of the first. So Marianac is in the starting lineup, hitting 4th for Misericordia. A true 2-way star from Reading, Pennsylvania. He'll gather up a 1 unassisted there in the box score and get set to face Ben Jones. The only player in the Lynchburg lineup that did not reach yesterday, Benton Jones. You got a feeling he wants to remedy that pretty quickly. He'll watch strike 1 go into the catcher's mitt, look back at the umpire, and confirm that it is an 0-1 count. Ben Jones swings on the second pitch. It's floated into shallow center field. Center fielder coming on and will make the grab there. That is Jack Regine. And there's 2 outs now in the bottom of the first inning. 2 pretty quick outs. As Lynchburg shut down the Cougar offense 3 up, 3 down in the top of the first. Now Lynchburg down to Quinn Madden here. 3-hole man likes the first pitch, takes a rip, and fouls it straight back. So Connor Marianac, he'll be a tough customer on the mound. Swinging the bat yesterday, he was 0 for 5. He'll be due up to lead off the top of the second inning. It looks like we might get there right now. Infield pop-up. Tough sky, a lot of sun, not many clouds, but the catch is made by the third baseman who came over to pull that ball in. That was Jason Sanfilippo. So it's a 3 up, 3 down, quiet inning for both squads as we get set to move to the top of the second inning. You are listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chaniga MIOS. The pitcher, Connor Marianac, will step in to lead off the top of the second inning for Misericordia. They went 3 up, 3 down in their half of the first, just like Lynchburg. Misericordia averaging over 10 runs per game. It's 6 runs per game in their playoff run, which is 10-0 in the postseason. They won 4 games in their MAC Freedom Conference tournament, 3 games in regional play, a 2-0 sweep in super regional action. And then 1 game yesterday, 1 win against Pomona Pitzer. It's strike one for Nick Matfield as he twists another breaking ball of some variety in there. The next one's off the plate. Count is even at 1-1. Lynchburg in the postseason is averaging just under 6 runs, 5.9. And in fact, that number does not factor in the 7-2 win yesterday for Lynchburg. So that probably creeps them over the 6-run mark. So they, like Misericordia, scoring quite a bit in the postseason. Cougars have won 22 out of their last 23. Lynchburg has won 15 of their last 17. 11-0 in postseason play. 1-2 delivery on the way from Nick Matfield. Breaking ball, and he got him swinging. Nasty pitch there from Nick Matfield. It's his first strikeout of the game. Wesley Arrington struck out 12 yesterday in what was just textbook classic playoff Wes Arrington. The Sheriff did it for Lynchburg last year in the D3 World Series. Looks like he's doing it so far again this year. He's certainly done it in the postseason, hasn't he? Wes Arrington 5-0, undefeated. The earned run average just over 1. Ball one there from Nick Matfield to Joe Commons, a left-handed swinger from Warners, New York. Grad student for Misericordia. They've got some experience. Commons will try to push a bunt down the third base line, but that's foul, and now the count is 1-1. It looks like Commons is one of 3 grad students in the lineup. There are 4 juniors in the starting lineup and 2 first years. They hit in the 8 and 9 hole with Brooks Ken Wisher and Owen Cordner. This ball slapped past Gavin Collins. There's your first hit of the game. Joe Commons going the other way as a left-handed hitter. Gavin Collins was played off the third base line. Commons really went with that pitch nicely and pushed it just inside the boundary and past the outstretched arm of Gavin Collins. So there's a hit. It will bring up Jared Hoffman, junior from Middletown, Delaware, steps in, wears number 19 in those dark blue jerseys that the Cougars have on today. Gray pants to go with it. There is 1 out in the top of the second inning. We have our first base runner of the ball game. Lynchburg went 3 up, 3 down in their half of the first. Jared Hoffman stepping in. He was in the starting lineup yesterday. He's a .245 hitter on the season. Yesterday, Hoffman was 0 for 2 as the designated hitter. Walked once, struck out once. He has moved up in the lineup, though, hitting behind Commons. Hoffman was batting in the 7 hole yesterday. Misericordia used 2 pitchers yesterday. 6 innings from the starter, Valenti, and then their outstanding closer came in, Lazendorf. He picked up save number 8 on the season, throwing 3 innings, 46 pitches, so you never know. He could be available to come back. A lot of those closers have that rubber arm, and we'll talk more about him if he does get back in there. Matt Lazendorfer is 3-0 with 8 saves now for Misericordia. Starting pitcher is Connor Marianac. We're getting to talk more about the Cougar pitchers as Nick Matfield sends quite a few pickoff tosses over to first base to keep an eye on Joe Commons. The 1-0 from Nick Matfield is south of the zone, and now the count is 2 balls and no strikes on Jared Hoffman. On the season, Joe Commons over there at first base is 11 for 12 in the stolen base department. Misericordia has 140 as a team, which is very, very good. Lynchburg, just for reference in the stolen base category, before yesterday had 100 on the season. So Misericordia is quite a few more than that, and they steal them at a more successful rate, over 84% success in the running game. This ball swung on, yanked down the line, but it will be foul. Jared Hoffman got a good swing off, but he couldn't keep that one between the lines, and now it's a 2-1 count. Now, it's what you want to see when you have a hitter's count. You want your guys to get that barrel out front. You don't want to be late, but there's a fine line there. On the season, Hoffman has started now 28 games, including this one. He has driven in 22 in those 28 games, 1 home run in there, and 7 doubles. So Hoffman is a guy that has some power. Another pickoff attempt from Nick Matfield. I think they're just trying to keep Commons busy. I mean, none of them have been really that close. Matfield will deal. This ball swung on, and it's a broken bat. Eddie Gimble will make another nice catch, moving slightly to his right and back. The bat got broken. The handle was still in Jared Hoffman's hands as the ball was flying out. The barrel went 2/3 of the way up the third base line. Nobody was in danger or anything. And that's more one, obviously, that you see with a wood bat, but you can get that with metal bats. Seems like since they made the change to the newer bats in 2009, 2010 or so, you actually have not seen as many broken metal bats, but it does still happen. I feel like in the 90s and the 2000s, it was just happening all the time. Those bats were so hot, the barrel walls were so thin, and then you add some cold weather, sometimes that would increase the chances of breaking one of those metal bats. In this case, we've got a great day to play. We're just under 80 degrees with a light breeze here, just within earshot. A long fly ball away from the banks of the mighty Lake Erie and the mighty Cuyahoga River. There's a breaking ball that's down from Nick Matfield. 1-0 start to Jason Sanfilippo. There is 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Runner on first for Misericordia is Joe Commons, first base runner of any kind this game. Matfield will twist and throw to keep Commons busy again. A head-first slide into first base. He's back in time. Lynchburg in the home whites, white jersey, white pants, black hat with the red bill. Good crowd here today. It's a 7,000-plus stadium here at Classic Park. It is a minor league facility, home to the Lake County Captains, a Cleveland Guardians affiliate. So it's going to be tough for 2 neutral site teams, a team from Virginia and a team from Pennsylvania, to fill this stadium up. But guys are getting close. It's a good crowd. 2-0 pitch coming up from Nick Matfield. Sanfilippo waits on it, swings at it, and fouls it into the protective netting to our right. Lynchburg is in the first base dugout today as the home team. They were on the third base side yesterday. In that victory against the Endicott Gulls, Lynchburg won that game 7-2. Just Endicott's 3rd loss this season. Wesley Arrington was beyond description again. He's just getting so good, you lose adjectives. You run out of things to say. This ball's a jam job down the third base line, but foul. Gavin Collins scooted over to backhand. And now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. The old Deuces Wild scenario here in the top of the second inning. Kyle Hoehne hanging out with you under the headset behind the microphone in the press box. Got our own little room up here at Classic Park. This facility was built in 2003. It's got a lot of unique things, though. It's not cookie cutter or a carbon copy of minor league stadiums. It's got some things that would remind you of City Stadium in Lynchburg, if you've been there, fans. Fans that went out to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, would probably notice some similarities between this ballpark and that one last year. Here comes a 2-2 from Matfield. Breaking ball, and he got him. Frozen. Jason Sanfilippo could not get the bat off his shoulders. Nick Matfield struck out 2 in the inning. Misericordia did get 1 runner on the Joe Commons base hit, but he is left stranded, and we'll move to the bottom of the second inning. Still scoreless, 0-0 ball game between the Hornets and the Cougars. Chaniga MIOS is proud to present NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on LHSN. My name is Kyle Hoehne. We have reached the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Riley O'Donovan, the catcher, leading off for Lynchburg. First pitch is a check swing and a strike. A 1 count for the senior Riley O'Donovan. Another Northern Virginia guy. Got so much Nova flavor in the lineup and on the roster for Lynchburg. We'll say hello to all the folks that are listening in Northern Virginia here this Saturday afternoon. June has arrived. June has arrived as Riley O'Donovan watches one go wide. It is a 2-1 count now on O'Donovan. Yeah, if you're playing baseball in June as a college team, that means you've done something right, huh? Swing and a miss from Riley O'Donovan. Good competitive pitch. I thought Riley got the A-plus swing off on that, but just came up empty, and now the count is 2-2. Defense straight away for Misericordia. Outfield slightly deeper than usual. Breaking ball. O'Donovan can't connect. And there's the first strikeout of the ball game for Connor Marionak. Marionak on the season has now struck out 70. He has only walked 17. So that tells you there is some elite control there. We know Lynchburg, with their game plan and the way they battle and grind pitchers down, they induce more walks than the average team. Lynchburg is third in the country right now in walks as a ball club. But Connor Marionak tends to be in the zone, or at least throws things that start in the zone and make you chase out of it. And I think that was the case there with Riley O'Donovan. 1-0 count to Eric Hyatt, who doubled twice yesterday. There was a strikeout sandwiched in there. Eric Hyatt is hitting now with a 1-1 count. There's one out in the bottom of the second inning. Hyatt will swing on this fastball and pound it down the right field line, but foul. Hyatt is a junior from Woodbridge, Virginia, and had a fun time chatting with him over the breakfast table today. He's a mellow guy. He is not the most high-energy guy on the ball club, but Hyatt knows his place and his game and does what he does so well. High chopper to the shortstop. Got to hurry. Hyatt was moving down the line, but that strong throw got him by a step. It was Owen Cordner, the shortstop, first-year man for Misericordia, making a good play on a high chopper from Eric Hyatt. 2 down now in the bottom of the second inning. And up steps Gavin Collins. 198 hits in the career for Gavin Collins. Another guy that was in good spirits at the breakfast table today after the win. He'll study a curveball from Marionak. Marionak will pitch out of the windup. The 0-1 on the way. Also a strike. Looked like he went with more velocity that time. And Gavin Collins is in an 0-2 hole here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Marionak twists and fires. Just missed the outer edge, and it's a 1-2 count. Cougar dugout coming alive here. And here comes the pitch to Collins. Up the middle. This ball's going to squeak through. There's hit number 199 for Gavin Collins. The senior creeps closer to that double century mark, and he's on base here. It's the first base runner for Lynchburg. First hit comes with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. And up steps the first-year man, Joe Munitz, from the Tidewater, Virginia Beach area. And we know we've got a good crew tuned in down there as well. Collins leads off at first. There's 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Marionak from the stretch for the first time today. Bottom rail fastball for a called strike. Outfield has Munitz played slightly to pull. Joe Munitz was a big factor in the win yesterday for Lynchburg. Put that ball in play in the 4-run second inning that was mishandled by the first baseman. Munitz with great base running. He hustled all the way to second on that, then came around to score on Brandon Garcia's 2 RBI single. 1-1 to Munitz is nowhere close. It's probably the wildest pitch Marionak has thrown so far. He has been very, very much in control and showcasing the good command. Munitz ended up with a 1-for-4 day. He had an RBI himself and scored twice. Gavin Collins back to first on a head-first dive after a pickoff attempt from Connor Marionak. Hard-throwing right-hander. You can tell he's got some zip. He's got some sizzle. Looks to be upper 80s, just giving it the eye test. Munitz will swing at one and flare it off. It's a 2-2 count. Looked like Gavin Collins was running on the play. Gavin Collins yesterday 0 for 3, did score a run. Gavin Collins with his usual outstanding stuff over there at the hot corner yesterday. Marionac set with a 2-2 at the belt line. Now he'll fire with the right hand. Breaking ball. Got Munitz out front. That's a strikeout. Lynchburg gets one runner on with the Collins base hit, but one stranded. No Misericordia errors, and we are still deadlocked. Donuts for each squad, 0-0. As we move to the top of the third inning, you're listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chaniga MIOS. The top of the third inning is just about to get underway as Nick Matfield will pitch to Brooks Kenwisher, the second baseman. First-year man from Ramsey, New Jersey. Watches strike one. We're underway here in the top of the third. Basically an identical box score for both squads right now. Each team went 3 up, 3 down in the first. Each team got one hit and left one runner stranded in the second inning. No errors so far. Smooth game so far, a fast-moving game, unlike our first one. And, you know, when you're trying to play 4 games in a day, which we are doing again today here at Classic Park, this ball's lifted into mid-right field. Quinn Madden rushing to the foul line and making the catch for out number 1 of the inning. But when you're trying to play 4 games in a day at one location, inevitably things get backed up. You know how tournament baseball works, I think, fans. So it's tough to stay on schedule. And then sometimes you wonder, well, why don't they just budget more time for each game? Then you get into that situation where you have a fast-moving pitcher's duel that takes 90 minutes and everybody's sitting around wondering, well, are we going to start early or not? So no real great answer there. I think the NCAA has done a great job with this tournament. And the NCEA conference, the North Coast Athletic Conference, they handle a lot of the heavy lifting with this deal too. So hats off to everybody. Been well run so far. Everybody has been nice and hospitable, and it's been enjoyable. Always an enjoyable trip when you're still playing baseball in June. It is a 2-1 count now as Owen Cordner bluffed a base hit bunt and pulled it back on a pitch that was down. Corners are in guarding against a potential short game kind of a play. Sweeping sliders off the plate from Nick Matfield. And now it's 3-1 on Owen Cordner. First-year man from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. He's the 9-hole hitter, so the top of the lineup is about to come back up here in the top of the third inning for Misericordia. Base hit bunt offered again and then pulled back, and that's a called strike 2. Misericordia does like to bunt. They bunt with nobody on base. They bunt with runners on first, runners on second. They'll do the variety of squeeze plays when they get runners on third. So it's certainly something you have to be aware of if you're Lynchburg, and it looks like, as usual, the Hornets are well schooled up. Curveball tossed in and then fouled away by Cordner. Nick Matfield's working hard early. I don't think he's laboring by any means, but you could just tell that this is a Misericordia lineup that is going to make the pitcher work. They're not going to offer it a lot of balls off the plate. And that can be tough sometimes. Matfield will be ready. This ball's lifted into left center field. O'Kelly McWilliams and Eddie Gimbel on the run. IV will call off Eddie Gimbel and make a running grab in the left center gap for out number 2 of the inning. The theme and the theory for the Lynchburg outfielders is hunt the baseball. That's what you hear from Quinn Madden and O'Kelly McWilliams. They want to hunt the baseball wherever it is. They're going after it. They're trackers out there. And with the speed that those guys have on offer, makes it easier to hunt things down. First pitch to Garrett McElhaney is high and wide. It's a 1-0 count. McElhaney, his career, is a .362 hitter with 209 base hits. This one, jam job off the inside part of the bat. He'll float it into shallow center field. There's hit number 210 of his career, and the second one of the ball game for the Cougars as a team. It puts Garrett McElhaney on first with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning. And with that, I have to tell you about Garrett McElhaney's speed and what he does on the bases. I mentioned Misericordia ran quite a bit as a ball club. Well, Garrett McElhaney's at the forefront of that. He's the tip of the spear on that attack. 32 for 35 in the stolen base department this season. And you think about that as a baseball fan, sometimes it doesn't register, but it's almost like the guy hits 32 doubles when you can do that. And now, not all of those steals, of course, are of second. Sometimes he's stealing third. Who knows? There could be a steal of home in that mix, in that breakdown as well. But it just gives you so much as a team when you can get those extra bases. That was a theme for us a lot last year for Lynchburg, where they weren't hitting as many extra base hits, the Lynchburg Hornets. So how do you get guys in scoring position? Do you bunt? Do you run? Do you do the combination of both? McElhaney will take off on the first pitch. Called strike. Throw from Riley O'Donovan was strong, but slightly to the left field side of the second base bag. And there's stolen base number 33 for Garrett McElhaney. And he's got speed. Clearly he has the instincts, and he got a great jump on that pitch. I thought Riley O'Donovan's throw was pretty good, but slightly off target. If that throw from Riley O'Donovan is on the bag, I think Lynchburg might have had him there. 0-1 count on Jack Regine. Breaking ball just under the knee, and it's a 1-1 situation with 2 outs coming up in the top of the 3rd inning. Brock Bollinger, the catcher, waits on deck. He flew out to deep left field in his first at-bat. Regine was one that grounded out to Ben Jones in the top of the 1st inning. Matfield will spin the other direction. 360 toss to second base. Ben Jones covering. McElhaney back on the slide safely. That's, again, you have to be aware that he will steal third base even with 2 outs. Even though the book says you're already in scoring position, don't take any chances. McElhaney has such speed, and Misericordia has such aggressiveness on the bases in general, that you have to never lose sight of those guys. Another thing that can make a pitcher feel like he's working harder than normal, when you have to really continue to keep those runners in the forefront of your mind. You can't just attack hitters with reckless abandon. You have to throw to first. You have to throw to second. You have to vary the hold times and do those things that coaches talk about to slow down and shut down running games. Foul ball from Regine, and now Riley O'Donovan's actually going to go have a chat, and so will Michael Solbach. Assistant coach Michael Solbach out of the dugout to have a word here with a 1-2 count with Nick Matfield. Might have had some problems with the communication device there that Lynchburg uses to signal the pitchers in, or signal the pitches in, rather. So Coach Solbach and Riley O'Donovan, the catcher, standing on top of the hill there with Nick Matfield. Thought Coach Solbach really made some great calls with the pitching attack yesterday, some well-placed timeouts to go settle down Wesley Arrington, remind him of the game plan. And Coach Solbach got high praise from Travis Beasley in the post-game interview. We had fun showing that before our broadcast today, and you can find all the great content Lynchburg's social media destinations, lynchburgsports.com. It really is an effort here from our LHSN team that I just think sets the standard for coverage at this level and for an event like this. Nobody better. Might be some equal, but none better than the LHSN team. Here comes a 1-2 from Nick Matfield. Oh, broke off a nasty one. Hoehne was able to lay off of that. Now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. With, you guessed it, 2 outs in the top of the third, a runner on second. Lynchburg defense straight away, medium deep in the outfield. Matfield will spin and throw to second base again. That was not the 360. That was what the baseball people call the inside move. Matfield, a right-handed thrower. You lift the left leg like you might be going to home, and then you spin and never lose sight of the pitcher, or the runner at second, rather. Matfield set again. Checks McElhaney at second. Thinks about it. Now inside pitch, and he got him. Another punch-out looking as Nick Matfield breaks off a nasty slider. Great stuff there from Nick Matfield. He's got a little smile on his face. He must have really liked that one, too. And Lynchburg gets out of a little mini jam there as Garrett McElhaney was in scoring position. But Nick Matfield with a great pitch to get Lynchburg back in the dugout. Hornets coming to hit in the bottom of the third. Nick Matfield's got 3 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. We're still scoreless here at Classic Park in Northeast Ohio. Lynchburg and Misericordia in Game 2 of the tournament for them, the NCAA D3 Baseball Championships. It's Game 6 of the tournament, Game 2 of 4 today. If you're confused, let's go back to baseball here as Eddie Gimble will check in to lead off the bottom of the third for Lynchburg. Real quick about Nick Matfield, when you hear guys talking about pitchers and complimenting pitchers, they'll use terms like nasty and filthy and sick, and those are all compliments, baseball fans. Don't be confused. So when we say that Nick Matfield is filthy today, that is definitely an extreme compliment. It's about the highest praise a pitcher can get. Eddie Gimble has swung through the first 2 pitches, and now it's an 0-2 count on the senior left fielder for Lynchburg. The pitcher is Connor Marianac. Throwing the fuzz in there to Eddie Gimble there, a hard heater that missed the plate. 1-2 delivery on the way from the tall right-hander Marianac. Broke off something there, and Eddie Gimble was frozen himself. Marianac's got 3 punch-outs, and that's the first out in the bottom of the third inning. It brings up O'Kelly McWilliams, the 5th year man. Another Northern Virginia guy for Lynchburg. 2 hits yesterday for IV. He had fun in the press conference, smiling away. Another great personality for Lynchburg. It's a team that those personalities just fit so well together, too. And the baseball skill sets fit as well. I mean, you have to have some variety in your order. You have to have some speed guys like O'Kelly McWilliams. Get some power guys in there, some bangers. And pitching staff, I think there's some value in having the variety there as well. 2-0 count for O'Kelly McWilliams as Marianac has missed the zone a couple of times. O'Kelly McWilliams will slash at the 2-0 offering and send it foul. But you have some strong and silent type guys like your Eric Hyatt. And you got some guys with those big, bold personalities like this man, O'Kelly McWilliams, into deep right center field. Long run there. Catch is made by the center fielder. Nice grab on the move by Jack Regine. And that's the second out of the inning as O'Kelly McWilliams put a pretty good charge into that, but could not find the green grass out there at Classic Park. It is a minor league park. You've got 320 down each line. Straightaway center is listed as 400 feet away from home plate, and the gaps are between 360 and 370. Here's Brandon Garcia, leadoff man's second bat of the game. He'll study an outside fastball and hit with an 0-1 count. 2 outs. Corner is in. Third baseman is in. First baseman, basically normal depth for the Misericordia Cougars. Brandon Garcia will pull one foul. A bobble by assistant coach Cameron Lane, who was on the national championship team last year. And the Lynchburg dugout gave Cam Lane a hard time about that. 0-2 count on Brandon Garcia. Marianak's giving him a hard time. This is a fastball that swept away and out of the zone. And now it's a 1-2 count for Hollywood. Brandon Garcia set, waiting, hands up high in the red batting gloves. He'll take ball 2. That was something off speed that never came back over the zone for Connor Marianak. The 2-2 pitch is on the way here. Garcia ready, shoots it to the left side. That'll sneak through. Nice job to just go with the outside pitch. Hard turn for Brandon Garcia. Nope, he'll shut it down and head back to first. There was just a slight bobble out there in left field, and Brandon Garcia maybe looking to exploit that, but he tapped the brakes and then got it into reverse and went back to first base. Garcia is aboard for his high school teammate, Ben Jones. Brandon Garcia with the second hit of the ball game for Lynchburg. There are 2 outs in the bottom of the third inning. Still scoreless between the Cougars and the Hornets. Ben Jones will sniff at an inside pitch but never take a bite, and it's a 1-0 count for Benny Bombs. Ben Jones flew out to shallow center field in his first at bat. Hitless yesterday. Ben Jones a little late on an inside fastball. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Ben Jones won't take much to get hot again, to get heated up again, whatever phrase you want to use. Ben Jones can get himself in a microwave and get going really quick. Might happen right here. 1-1 on the way. Low and away for ball 2. I just think Ben Jones, with his skill set, he's never going to go into a really, really long slump. He's never going to go, 10 games without a hit. We know he takes a lot of walks, 47 on the season. Ben Jones will swing through a fastball down in the zone, and now the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ben Jones, team leader at 47 walks. Brandon Garcia not far behind at 44. Eric Hyatt has 38. Here comes the 2-2 from Marianak. Jones pulls this ball down the line. That's fair, and it's a base hit. Jones rip and run around second. It'll be a stand-up double. Brandon Garcia gets the stop sign at third. Lynchburg in business with 2 outs and 2 on. Gathering momentum as well. That's the other thing here. We know Lynchburg is such a momentum-based team. This postseason run has been built on the momentum. This postseason run has been built on guys like Ben Jones and Brandon Garcia. And how about this guy, Quinn Madden, hitting into 3-hole for Lynchburg. He's an All-American this season, a first-team All-Region player. Quinn Madden, right-hander, will check in. He popped out to the third baseman in the infield in his first at-bat. Marianak delivers. Madden's on this, rips it into center. Running grab won't be made. That ball's down. 1 run is in. A play at the plate. Head first slide from Ben Jones. He is safe, and the Hornets are stinging early again. Lynchburg strikes in the bottom of the third. 3 straight base hits. It was Brandon Garcia with a great 2-strike approach to shoot one through the infield on the left side. Ben Jones got a 2-strike double down the right field line, and then it's Quinn Madden, the medicine man, jumping on the first pitch and pounding it into center field, and the hits keep coming with Riley O'Donovan stepping in. Runner on first, 2 outs, Lynchburg leads 2-0. It's happening again. It is happening again, Lynchburg fans. Still a long, long way to go. You know that. But what a start for Lynchburg. They scored 4 runs in the top of the second yesterday. This is a 2 spot here in the bottom of the third. Ball 1 to Riley O'Donovan. Quinn Madden could be a threat to run. He's bouncing around at first. There's a breaking ball just above the knee. But it's a 1-1 count on Riley O'Donovan. O'Donovan struck out in his first at bat against Connor Marianak. Marianak is set at the abdomen. Now he'll deliver. This ball's floated to the right side. It's through. It's another base hit. Madden takes the turn around third, and he's safe at third. Riley O'Donovan thought about going to second. The bag was unoccupied briefly, but he'll stay at first, and the hits do keep coming. It's 4 hits in a row. That was a ball that Riley O'Donovan, I think, was slightly late on, but it found a hole. It's 4 straight base knocks for the Lynchburg offense. That is jumping in the microwave and getting hot. Here comes Eric Hyatt, grounded out to the shortstop, a high hopper play. That ball, as it floated by Quinn Madden, he actually had to make sure it wasn't going to hit him, and then with 2 outs, he was running hard. So he took a hard turn around second, and it looked like maybe briefly the Misericordia defense was actually going to have a shot to throw out Quinn Madden at third. He slid in safe, and then the first baseman for Misericordia, who is Jared Hoffman, he realized second was unoccupied because the shortstop was the relay man to third. Second baseman went after the ball. So Hoffman actually did nicely to spring into action and sprint to second base before Riley O'Donovan, the hitter, could do the same. So there was a lot happening on that play. There's a lot happening right now for the Lynchburg offense. 4 straight base hits. And this is a 2-out rally, by the way. Worth noting, Brandon Garcia and Ben Jones' hits both came with 2 strikes and 2 outs. Here's the first one to Eric Hyatt, low and away. Good slide and stop by the catcher, Brock Bollinger. Back to the dimensions of the field. It is a minor league park, so it's a deep backstop. 40 or 50 feet back there from home plate to the wall. 1-0 for Eric Hyatt. Interesting swing there. I don't think he had full commitment, and it ends up being a strike. It looks like Marianak's got that almost that cutter of a fastball. Seems to go away from a right-handed hitter. Eric Hyatt is on this one. Diving stab, but not completed, and it's another run for Lynchburg. 5 straight base hits. The most recent one from number 5. Eric Hyatt yanking a fastball through the hole. Third baseman Jason Sanfilippo gave a really outstanding effort, and at first you couldn't tell if he came up with the ball or not, but he did not. It's through to left field, and it's another base hit and another run for Lynchburg. Hornets lead 3-0. It is happening again, Lynchburg fans. It is happening again. Gavin Collins waits on the first pitch. He singled in his first at bat. Lynchburg's got 6 hits total, 5 in a row. Collins wants the first one down the line. Third baseman Sanfilippo fields. He's going to pump fake to first and then try to tag out Riley O'Donovan, but Riley O'Donovan puts the left hand on the bag and is safe at third base. That's going to go down as an infield single. That's 2 hits for Gavin Collins. That's 200 in his career. He had 199 his first at bat. That will go down as a base hit. Lynchburg has 7 base hits and 6 in a row, all with 2 outs in the third inning. The bases are loaded for Joe Muniz. Sanfilippo actually made a good play to keep that ball in the infield, and then he used an arm fake to get Riley O'Donovan to round third base slightly, but the third base coach, Oscar Garcia, and Riley O'Donovan were both ready for that tactic. O'Donovan did not go far. Then he just kind of laid down and put his left hand back on the bag. It wasn't a true slide from Riley O'Donovan, but he got back in time. Mound visit here for Misericordia, and yes, this is the place to take one. And you could argue maybe the Cougars should have tried to take a little time out defensively even before this. The inning began with Eddie Gimble, who is on deck, by the way, with Joe Muniz getting ready to see the first pitch from Connor Marianak. The inning began with Eddie Gimble striking out to start the bottom of the third. O'Kelly McWilliams flew out in the right center gap, but hit the ball fairly well. Perhaps that gave the Lynchburg offense some confidence. Up steps Brandon Garcia. A 2-strike, 2-out base hit through the left side of the infield. Ben Jones had a 2-out, 2-strike double down the right field line. Quinn Madden drove them in with a first pitch laser into center field. Then it was Eric Hyatt's base hit that squeezed through the left side, and Gavin Collins with an infield single. First pitch to Joe Muniz is on target, and it's an 0-1 count. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Lynchburg does lead 3-0. Congrats to Gavin Collins on getting 200 hits. He leads off at first. O'Donovan at third. And it's Eric Hyatt at second. Swing and a miss from Joe Muniz on an off-speed pitch. 0-2 count. Muniz struck out in his first at bat on a breaking ball. That was down. See if Marianac goes back there or not. Bases loaded. Muniz, left-handed hitter, will get a piece of that. Almost hit that one out of the catcher's mitt. Great job to stay alive with 2 strikes by Joe Muniz. Could have been setting up another off-speed pitch low to try to get Joe Muniz. And Muniz would be thinking about that himself as a hitter. Joe Muniz, 1 batting glove on the right hand. Nothing on the top left hand as a left-handed swinger. Joe Muniz will watch this ball float low and away, but it's a ball. Marianac working from the stretch with runners at every base for the Lynchburg Hornets. The 1-2 to Muniz. Swing and a miss. Struck him out again. What a great inning for Lynchburg. They score 3 runs on 6 hits, all with 2 outs. Lynchburg explodes to take a 3-0 lead through 3 complete. You are listening to NCAA D3 National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Welcome back to Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio, northeast Ohio. We are just outside the beautiful city of Cleveland, where we were 2 weeks ago. Lynchburg was in sunny Southern California. Last week, it wasn't quite so sunny. It was mostly overcast skies for Lynchburg's trip to Laverne, California last week. It's all sunshine and blue skies right now for Lynchburg Hornets fans as they see their team take a 3-0 advantage. 3 runs on 6 hits in that 3rd inning. It all came with 2 outs for Lynchburg. Brandon Garcia singled and scored. Ben Jones doubled and scored. Quinn Madden drove those guys in with a laser shot up the middle on the first pitch. Center fielder made a valiant effort there to take that hit away. Lynchburg would later score Quinn Madden on Eric Hyatt's single that got through the infield. Gavin Collins got on. Bases left loaded for Lynchburg. They did a lot of damage in that 3rd inning. 3 runs on 6 hits. Nick Matfield still working on top of the slab for Lynchburg. He'll offer one up to the catcher Brock Bollinger, and it's ball 1. So Lynchburg total now 3 runs on 7 hits. Gavin Collins, the only guy in the lineup with multiple at the moment. 3 runs on 7 hits. They've left 4 stranded, 2 in scoring position. Bollinger swings at the 1-0, floats that to center field. O'Kelly McWilliams will line it up and haul it in for the first out of the inning. The pitcher, Connor Marianac, struck out in his first at bat against Nick Matfield. Matfield has struck out 3, 2 of those looking. Marianac was a punch-out victim to begin inning number 2. Connor Marianac is a great pitcher, obviously. We're seeing that, but he's also a pretty good hitter as well. Team leader in hits with 65 coming into the tournament. Team leader in home runs with 13. He's slugging .689 on the season. He's driven in over 65 runners this year. Marianac on the season, 68 RBI. Didn't have any yesterday. But this guy is a force, and he's a force on the mound and in the batter's box. 2-0 count to Marianac. Matfield nibbles the bottom edge of the strike zone with a fastball, and now it's 2-1. Lynchburg has 8-9-1 due up in the 4th. Same thing they had coming up in the bottom of the 3rd. And if Lynchburg could keep the pressure on, if they could keep the heat on, you might be able to try to really put this game to bed early. Put some distance between yourself and the Cougars of Misericordia. 2-2 count to Connor Marionac. Matfield lifts the leg, fires, and he got him looking. Yeah, Nick Matfield went with the heater that time, and I think Marionac must have been expecting something off speed. Matfield will keep you guessing. He's got that bag. He's got the bag of tricks that he can go to. And again, excellent coaching there as far as the pitch selection and the play calling goes. Nick Matfield has struck out 4, and 3 of them are looking. That tells you a lot. Joe Commons is the left-handed hitting left fielder who singled in his first at-bat off Nick Matfield. Strike 1. Matfield's coming after hitters. No walks yet. No hit batters either. Actually, neither pitcher has walked or hit a batter yet. Here's the 0-1 from the right-hander Nick Matfield. Almost caught the outer edge with that fastball, but it's a 1-1 count. Matfield's got such movement on all the pitches. Everything moves for Nick Matfield. Nothing is straight unless he really wants it to be straight. This ball's hit to the shortstop, Brandon Garcia. He'll run through it with the grab. Now fling it over to first base, and it's a 3-up, 3-down inning again. Nick Matfield in control. His team is on top, 3-0. Hornets go looking for more in the bottom of the 4th inning in just a second. On the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network, the action brought to you today by Chiniga, MIOS. For the Lynchburg Hornets baseball team, the vibes are at an all-time high. I think the confidence is at an all-time high as well. So much of this season has been played in the shadow of what Lynchburg did last year, 2023 national champs. But this team has no doubt made their place in the Lynchburg history books. They have put their stamp in Lynchburg fans' minds. They have written their own story, and this is a story that is still going. We'll see how long it goes for this Vibes Train Express, as Lynchburg players have been calling it. Most of the guys actually just use the word vibes, which I guess came about, in modern American language in the 60s when people were talking about the vibrations. It just got shortened to vibes. Eddie Gimble will swing on an 0-1 pitch, send it to deep right field. Catch is made on the run out there by Garrett McElhaney. Pretty good play to stay with that ball that the wind was playing some slight tricks on, and then I think just the side spin that ball had on it from Eddie Gimble's bat made it a tough play. But the catch is completed, and there is 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. O'Kelly McWilliams flew out to deep right center field in his first at-bat. Ivy with a 2-hit day yesterday. Good sharp breaking ball from Connor Marionac is a called strike. Lynchburg scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, all with 2 outs. The man on deck, Brandon Garcia, was the spark plug. When is he not the spark plug? He can get any engine jump started. And this is a locomotive engine for Lynchburg, offensively and defensively. McWilliams flares at the 1-1 delivery, and now it's a 1-2 count. Brandon Garcia, he's already got the Hollywood nickname. We might just have to call him the human spark plug. How about this spark plug? O'Kelly McWilliams missiles one down the right field line. Rip and run time for Ivy as he'll take the turn and get into second base. Another double for O'Kelly McWilliams. Another one of those speed doubles for Ivy. He shot this ball down the right field line there, and he was off to the races. It's just so much fun watching that guy run the bases. O'Kelly McWilliams with a one-out double. He's in scoring position for that Hollywood spark plug. Brandon Garcia kicking the cleats, waiting to get in the batter's box as the pitcher Connor Marianac will get a new baseball and then head back up the slope and face the leadoff hitter for Lynchburg. Hornets have 8 hits now. Second extra base hit of the game. How about third double in 2 games for O'Kelly McWilliams? The fifth-year man was not part of that national championship last year. He's a transfer, but he has fit right into the lineup, to the culture, the locker room. Love having this guy on Lakeside Drive. 1-0 count as Brandon Garcia took a close one off the outside edge. Marianac pitching under pressure again with a speedster McWilliams at second. He'll take one look, now turn back to the strike zone. Here's the pitch to Brandon Garcia. Base hit bunt attempt will be foul down the third base line. Good thought process there from Brandon Garcia. Just couldn't keep it between the lines. Count is 1 ball, 1 strike. There's 1 out. In the bottom of the 4th inning, Lynchburg leading 3-0 over the Misericordia Cougars from the MAC Freedom Conference. They are winners of 12 straight, and the Cougars have won 22 of 23. Garcia, hands high, waits for the 1-1. Off speed, ball 2. Lynchburg won the Old Dominion Athletic Conference Tournament as a 4 seed. Seeding does not matter to this Hornet squad. They're the 8th seed in this tournament this week, but you would not know that watching them play. You would never know that at all. They've got the bounce, they've got the spring, they've got the firepower, they've got the willpower. It's a 3-1 count coming up for Brandon Garcia. O'Kelly McWilliams leads off at second. Connor Marianac, the pitcher, gets the sign. Infield slightly in. Garcia will slash at the 3-1 and foul it back. Count is full with Ben Jones waiting on deck. I mean, Lynchburg, back to their offense. They will take the walks. They'll take the hit by pitch. They'll dink and dump you. They'll put some balls in play that maybe you don't think are hit that hard. Then all of a sudden you turn around and they hit 2 doubles in a game. They hit 5 doubles yesterday. They'll hit some home runs. They do it all. Full count to Brandon Garcia. He'll push this one to the left side. Third baseman will make the play, come up and fire, and they get Brandon Garcia by a step at first base. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 4th inning, and it will be Ben Jones, second baseman for Lynchburg. Took an 0 for day yesterday, and he was 0 for 1 before that 3rd inning. Then he yanked a double down the right field line. Made it a runners at 2nd and 3rd situation, and then Quentin Madden, who's waiting on deck right now, he drove those 2 in the 3rd inning. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Ben Jones awaits the first pitch from Connor Marianac. O'Kelly McWilliams bouncing around at second. Got Marianac's attention enough that he'll spin and toss there. O'Kelly McWilliams back on his feet in plenty of time. Another enjoyable day at the ballpark so far. First game today was good. Endicott came back to eliminate Pomona Pitzer on a walk-off 7-6 victory. Looks like the run scoring so far through 5 games has been winning teams 7.6, losing teams 3.8. 1 home run so far in the 5 games here at Classic Park. 0-1 to Ben Jones. Waves at the second pitch and fouls it straight back, and now it's an 0-2 count. Runner at second is O'Kelly McWilliams. Pitcher is Connor Marianac, a junior from Reading, Pennsylvania. Pitching in a 3-0 deficit right now, but wants to keep his team as close as he can. Limit the Hornets' offense as much as you can. Don't let them blow the game wide open. Ben Jones is a guy that can do that. That pitch is just north of the zone. And it's a 1-2 count on Benny Bombs. Benny bases. Such a talented sophomore from Durham, North Carolina. His defense has gotten so much better the last season. Ben Jones on an off-speed pitch, but under it. Should be a routine grab in center field. Catch is made on a ball that really hung up in the sky for a long time, but that's how the inning will end. Lynchburg does get 1 on, but 1 stranded. Hornets do lead 3-0 after 4 complete at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. Lynchburg leads Misericordia 3-0. The action today on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network is brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. We're so glad to have you listening wherever you are on this beautiful first Saturday of June. Ball one to the leadoff hitter of the fifth inning, Jared Hoehne. He's the first baseman for Misericordia. Flew out to left field in his first at bat. Lynchburg on top 3-0, 3 runs in the third inning. Nothing in innings 1, 2, and 4. Kelly McWilliams' double provided some excitement, but no additional runs for Lynchburg, at least not yet anyway. This is Classic Park. It's the home of the Lake County Captains, a Cleveland Guardians affiliate. They've had some really great players play some minor league baseball in this stadium. This ball's hit well. Brandon Garcia's there. Got down in the low crouch, studied the second hop, caught it in the mitt, and then lasered across the diamond for the first out of the inning. Another really, really good play by Brandon Garcia. It's one that I think the average fan probably underestimates how difficult it is. It's basically a true two-hopper, and it was hit very, very well by Jared Hoehne. Brandon Garcia had to move 2 steps to his left to field that. It really just textbook, keeping the eye level low, keeping the hips down. Breaking ball in for strike one from Nick Matfield to Jason Sanfilippo. Struck out looking on a breaking ball down from Nick Matfield, one of 4 punch-out victims. That ball nearly hit Filippo. It did hit him. Yeah, it was a curveball that never really curved. I think it got Filippo in the left shoe. So maybe I contradicted myself there. Maybe the ball did curve, but just down instead of back over the plate or in some place that was not going to hit Jason Sanfilippo. So he is aboard. Jason Sanfilippo becomes the third base runner of the ball game for the Misericordia Cougars. Here's Brooks Canwisher, first-year infielder, playing a good second base for Misericordia. He'll watch this one go into Riley O'Donovan's mitt, and it's an 0-1 count. Nick Matfield set, runner behind him at first base. He'll spin that direction and throw to Eric Hyde, who puts the tag on Sanfilippo, who got back in time. Misericordia is a squad that really puts up great offensive numbers. They're averaging over 10 runs per game this season. That number is right at 6 in the postseason. Misericordia can win those close games like Lynchburg as well. In one-run games, the Cougars are 9-6. Lynchburg is 10-4 this season in one-run games. Here comes the 0-1, swung on and put into play. Shallow center field. O'Kelly McWilliams should have no problem with this. He'll get behind it, run into it, and fake a throw to first base. But Jason Sanfilippo back in plenty of time. And that is the second out of the top of the fifth inning. Here's the shortstop, Owen Cordner. Hit a ball fairly well in the left center gap in his first at bat. Was back in the third inning. We're in the top of the fifth here. Cordner is just a .227 hitter on the season. It's his first year, and he's playing shortstop. And I think if you ask the Cougar coaching staff, they would tell you that's where his true value is. And the average should go up as his career continues. Owen Cordner, first-year man from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Waits on the first pitch from Nick Matfield, who tried to pick off one time. Matfield will slide step into this. Fastball buzzes up and in. Cordner out of the way, and it's a 1-0 count. Misericordia in the postseason is 10-0. They beat Christopher Newport. They beat the Captains 3-1 and 2-1 in Newport News in their Super Regional. So this is a battle-tested team. Lynchburg fans would probably remember the tough time that CNU gave the Hornets this year. 2 pretty big victories for Christopher Newport. And the Captains thought this might be their season to make a national championship run. But they were eliminated by this Misericordia team that Lynchburg leads right now 3-0. 2-0 count as Nick Matfield was too high on that second pitch. Leadoff man Garrett McElhaney on deck. He is 1 for 2 with a stolen base. He's the only base runner to get in scoring position so far for the Cougars. And they've gotten 3 total off Nick Matfield, who has lost the zone slightly here to the 9-hole hitter Owen Cordner. 3-0 count. See if Matfield can get right here. Hasn't walked a hitter yet. You certainly don't want to walk the 9-hole man. You don't really want to walk anybody, but some walks are better than others. It will be a 4-pitch walk for Nick Matfield, as Owen Cordner doesn't have to get the bat off his shoulder, and he trots down to first base. It will bring up the right fielder, Garrett McElhaney. 210 hits in his outstanding career. He's a career .362 hitter. McElhaney, left-handed swinger, bats with 2 outs. There are 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. 2 on. That pitch is right at the knee for strike 1. Fastball that time from Nick Matfield. We've talked throughout his career that he just gives you so many different looks with the arm angles and changes speeds. The ball never seems to go straight. That time did look like just a hard, straight fastball. McElhaney likes the second one, but he is under it. Left center gap. O'Kelly McWilliams will call off Eddie Gimble. Gimble there backing him up, and it ends up being a routine grab to end the top of the 5th inning. So the Cougars get 2 on, a hit batter and a walk, but Nick Matfield is pitching shutout baseball through 4.5 innings. Lynchburg looking for more as we move to the bottom of the 5th. You are listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornet Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chanika MIOS. Chanika MIOS is proud to support Lynchburg baseball. Like a family, they support each other and every single win. Join a workplace where teamwork and family values shine. Find your future at MIOScareers.com. That's MIOScareers.com. Kyle Hoehne extending the warmest welcome back to East Lake, Ohio, as we get set for the bottom of the 5th inning. First hitter will be Quinn Madden. Madden's got 2 RBI and a single, and it was in that 3-run 3rd inning for Lynchburg, and it is a 3-0 ball game at the moment. As Quinn Madden facing Connor Marionak, the starter for Misericordia. This is Madden's 3rd at bat. This ball's hit pretty well, but on the ground to the second baseman, who slides to his right. Brooks Canwisher making the play for the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning. So Quentin Madden, a 3-pitch at bat. He swung at the first pitch in his previous at bat, and that proved to be fruitful with the 2 RBI single. Here's Riley O'Donovan. He's 1 for 2 with a strikeout. He also singled in that 3rd inning. O'Donovan thought about taking a whack at a curveball from Marionak, but holds off, and that is strike 1. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Now it's an 0-2 hole for Riley O'Donovan, who's done a nice job as the catcher today with Nick Matfield. Nick Matfield has not been perfect, but he's been pretty darn good. Shutout baseball through 5 defensive innings for Lynchburg. Matfield has allowed 2 hits. He's walked 1 and hit 1. Here comes a 1-2 to the catcher, Riley O'Donovan. On this, but to the shortstop. Another ground ball. Back-to-back, really pretty healthy ground balls there from Lynchburg, but nothing to show, as there's 2 outs now in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Eric Hyatt, also 1 for 2 in this game. Grounded out on the high hopper to the shortstop in his first at-bat, and then an RBI single through the left side of the infield last time up in that 3-run 3rd inning. Gavin Collins on deck. He's 2 for 2. hits number 199 and 200 in his incredible career. Let's get Gavin Collins a few more. Hyatt took the first pitch. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. It was a ball, 1-0. That is a called strike. Looked like just under the letters. We've been talking throughout the postseason that the zones seem to be a bit smaller than regular season strike zones. But our umpires, I just think they have been really, really good. Not easy to call these games as Hyatt pulls one foul softly. Not easy to umpire these games. I think our crews have just been great. Comes a 1-2, swing and a miss. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Lynchburg offense. Lynchburg leading 3-0. We are through 5 complete. It's game 6 of the tournament. Game 2 for Misericordia and Lynchburg. Right now, the Hornets holding on to the 3-0 advantage. Our LHSN audio broadcast from the NCAA Division III National Championship is brought to you by Chenega MIOS. We return to Classic Park in Northeast Ohio for the start of the 6th inning. Nick Matfield still pitching effectively for Lynchburg. It's a tough act to follow when you think about what Wes Arrington did yesterday and what he has done this postseason. Wesley Arrington, 12 strikeouts yesterday in a complete game. Scattered 10 hits. Endicott did score 2 runs, but Wesley Arrington was just lights out perfect, I thought. Struck out the final 3 hitters. He struck out 5 of the last 6. He struck out 3 in the 8th and 3 in the 9th. So the last 6 outs were strikeouts from Wesley Arrington. And it was just incredible. It was the Wesley Arrington that we've been seeing for the last month, the Wesley Arrington we saw in Cedar Rapids last year. It's just so much fun to watch a guy like that. He's just such a great guy, high character guy. Another guy that's kind of walk softly, carry a big stick kind of guy. Wes Arrington doesn't really show a lot of emotion. That got brought up in the post-game press conference. I think some of the observers thought, well, you're throwing a complete game. You should be out there fist pumping and yelling. Diving play from Ben Jones. Oh, what a grab right there. Defense on display from the sophomore Ben Jones as he moves to his left and makes a little feet-first slide to catch a hard one there and record the first out of the top of the 6th inning. Brock Bollinger, the catcher, will get in. He's 0 for 2, flew out to deep left field and then also center field. There's 1 out now in the top of the 6th inning. As we were just reminiscing about less than 24 hours ago, the sheriff, Wesley Arrington, coming to town, throwing the handcuffs. 1 hopper to Gavin Collins. He'll catch, study the seams, throw across. Josh Jorman tried to catch a high one and get back to the bag, but he could not. Runner on first now. It's probably going to go down as an error on Gavin Collins, I would think. It'll be the first one for Lynchburg defensively here on this trip to East Lake, Ohio. Nothing on the board yet. I should have mentioned that Josh Jorman did check in as the new first baseman. Planned change there as Eric Hyatt got 3 at-bats yesterday. And Hyatt got 3 today, finishing 1 for 3 with a ground out and a strikeout. That ball has been ruled an error, so still just 2 hits for Misericordia. Brock Bollinger, the catcher, on first. He'll scramble back after a pickoff attempt from Nick Matfield. Connor Marionak, the pitcher, has struck out twice against his counterpart. He'll wait on another one as Matfield spins and tosses behind his back to Josh Jorman over there at first base. Loser of this game has to play tomorrow at 11 a.m. against the Endicott Gulls, who, as you know, Lynchburg already beat yesterday. They eliminated Pomona Pitzer earlier this morning. And the winner of this game gets to wait till Monday at 10 a.m. to take on the winner of tomorrow's game. The bracket can be found online. 1-0 count to Connor Marionak. Holds the hands away from his body, slightly upright stance. He's waiting again as Nick Matfield throws over on the catcher, Brock Bollinger again. We mentioned that these Cougars like to run over 140 stolen bases. They steal it at nearly an 85% clip. Brock Bollinger will run. He's got 18 swipes on the season. Pretty good for a catcher. Swing and a miss on a hard swipe from Connor Marionak. Lynchburg defensively has Marionak played to pull. Not exactly your conventional double play setup right here. Outfield also played extremely to pull. Marionak is a right-handed hitter. That means the center fielder O'Kelly McWilliams is slid over in that left center gap. The right fielder Quinn Madden is very much in the right center gap. It's a 3-0 ball game as Nick Matfield with a steady diet of pickoff tosses over to first base to keep an eye on the junior catcher, Brock Bollinger. Misericordia's got a good mix of young and old in their lineup. Here's the 1-1 from Matfield, put in play, but foul. Misericordia is 5th in the country in stolen bases, back to that running game. And just back to their lineup for a minute. It is 3 fifth years, 3 grad students in that lineup to go along with 4 juniors and the 2 freshmen. The second baseman and shortstop, the double play duo, much like Lynchburg had last year with the first years, up the middle and doing damage in the order as well. Another pickoff attempt from Nick Matfield. Gives you a chance to talk about this and that. Getting the shout-outs from the Rice family. We know there's so many more listening. We got to get a roll call going here at some point. We're in the top of the 6th. Breaking ball from Matfield is low, and now it's a 2-2 count. Starting pitchers both out there for both squads. And interestingly enough, the starting pitcher for Misericordia is the batter right now. Connor Marionak waiting on a 2-2. He'll continue to wait. An exercise in patience for a hitter. With this Misericordia team running like they do, I'm sure the hitters get used to pitchers throwing over all the time. You still got unlimited pickoff attempts in college baseball. Oh my goodness, that was absolutely pinpoint from Nick Matfield as he paints the inside corner there to get Marionak struck out for a 3rd time today. Matfield has struck out 5. He struck out Marionak 3 times, 2 times looking. That's incredible. That will frustrate the heck out of you as a hitter. You're wondering, what's so tough about this? Everybody else is putting this guy in play. What am I doing wrong? I give full credit to Nick Matfield. His stuff is just really, really good. There are 2 outs now. Joe Commons waits on Nick Matfield. The runner on first is Brock Bollinger. Gavin Collins, the third baseman, is even with the bag. You always got to watch out for the base hit bunt with Misericordia. Always something a defense has to be aware of. Josh Jorman holding the runner on at first, so he's basically already set up even at the bag. First pitch was low. Left-handed swinging Joe Commons has 1 hit today. Won't get one here. As Josh Jorman thought about throwing to second, but there's 2 outs, so he decides to flip over to Nick Matfield, who is covering. A little bit of an odd-looking play, but Lynchburg gets the out, and they are out of the top of the 6th inning. Lynchburg still with the 3-0 lead. Hornets coming to bat in the bottom half of the 6th. You are listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Kyle Hoehne inside the press box here at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. We are outside Cleveland for the NCAA Division III National Championship. Lynchburg's postseason freight train of a vibes train. It just rolls on, rumbling down these tracks. Cleveland rocks, but Lynchburg rolls. Nick Matfield is rolling. You know, we've been talking so much about Wesley Arrington this postseason run, and with good reason. But let's not forget what Nick Matfield's been doing on the mound. Last week against the Laverne Leopards, he went 6 2/3, only gave up 2 earned runs there. It was 6 1/3 innings of no earned runs surrendered. A couple weeks ago at Case Western Reserve, just about 25 or 30 minutes down the road. And Nick Matfield was pretty good against Bridgewater in that ODAC opening round game. Nick Matfield's been pretty good his entire career. Had some injury issues last year, but he is back on track and getting it done for his ball club. The senior from Suffolk has looked great in this one. 1-1 count on Gavin Collins. Lynchburg with a 3-0 lead. Gavin Collins has gotten hit. And there's Lynchburg's first hit batter of the ball game. For Connor Marionak, he had not walked any, so that's really the first freebie he's given up. Lynchburg has their 3 runs on 8 hits. Hornets have left 5 on, 3 of those in scoring position. Here comes Joe Munitz. Joe Munitz has struck out twice. He'll put down a sacrifice bunt. Marionak down the hill to field and throw to first. They get Joe Munitz there. Good job by Munitz to execute the game plan and also get something positive going for himself offensively. When you've struck out twice, again, start to have some doubts creeping in. Maybe you do lose confidence slightly. So great play there by Joe Munitz to get a good bunt down and move Gavin Collins to second base. Eddie Gimbel is hitting now. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Flew out to right, swung through a breaking ball, and it's an 0-1 count on the senior Eddie Gimbel. Bumped into Eddie Gimbel in the ice cream parlor last night, having a good time there with the friends and family. Another guy that always seems to have a smile on his face. Probably not smiling too much there as Connor Marionak twisted off a nasty curveball, and it's strike 2. Defense has Gimbel played straight away in the outfield, slightly to pull in the infield. Marionak checks the runner. Collins at second. Gimbel flares one foul to stay alive in the at-bat. O'Kelly McWilliams is waiting on deck. McWilliams is 1 for 2 with a double. Had 2 doubles yesterday. Lynchburg 5 as a team. So they're up to 7 now. Not a ton of home runs, but I factor the doubles into the power game for sure. Definitely impacts the slugging percentage if you're familiar with the way those computations and calculations work. 1-2 count as Gimbel watched one come in just under his chin. Marionak is set, checks the runner again. Big leg lift. There's another pitch, same location, neck height that time. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lynchburg has not scored since that 3-run outburst in the 3rd. But with the way Nick Matfield is pitching, 3 runs is okay right now. Oh, Eddie Gimbel, fine piece of hitting to stay on that one and bust it through the right side. Gavin Collins will turn around third. He's in standing up. Lynchburg has scored again. Eddie Gimbel time. Another 2-strike piece of hitting that was just something you dream of as a baseball coach. He stayed right on that and just fired it right through the hole between the first baseman and the second baseman. RBI single for Eddie Gimbel. And remember, this is a guy, Eddie Gimbel, that has now started 12 games this season. But that's Lynchburg for you. It's plug and play a lot of times. Guys get injured, guys go cold. It's next man up. And Lynchburg, the next man seems to always be ready for the moment. The moment is never too big for these guys. Still work to be done. Hornets on top, 4-0. Runner at first is Eddie Gimbel. 1-0 count to O'Kelly McWilliams. He likes the second pitch, got under it, sent it over to the right side foul territory. Collision there between the second baseman and the first baseman. Catch was made, and then the first baseman in pain just kind of ejected the baseball and threw it to the second baseman who collided into him. First baseman is Jared Hoffman. He made a really good catch. It was a tough play over his shoulder in foul territory, and then adding to the degree of difficulty was the fact that his own second baseman, Brooks Canwisher, was bearing down on him and then colliding with him, really simultaneously as he made the catch. Wow, a lot happening there. Out is recorded. And a nice round of applause from the Lynchburg fans and the Misericordia fans as Jared Hoffman jumps up on his feet. Coach and athletic trainer for the Cougars were headed out there, and then Jared Hoffman kind of gave him the I'm okay wave and sent him back to the dugout. So with all that, here comes Brandon Garcia. Garcia started that rally in the bottom of the third with a 2-strike, 2-out opposite field single. Bats with 2 outs here, and Eddie Gimbel at first. Defense straight away for the Cougars. Gimbel back on a dive on a pickoff attempt. Lynchburg now leads 4-0. 4 runs on 9 hits. Just one hit batter in there. But that hit batter came around to score. That was Gavin Collins. Got moved up by a successful sac bunt from Joe Munitz. Eddie Gimbel's on the run. Feet first slide at second, but the throw is collected, and Gimbel is tagged out. That's how the 6th inning will end. Lynchburg does add to their lead. Hornets on top 4-0 after 6 complete at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. You are listening to NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga, MIOS. The Lynchburg Hornets do pick up 1 additional run in the bottom of the 6th inning. It was 1 run on 1 hit. That was the Eddie Gimbel RBI single. Gavin Collins was the runner that scored. He reached on a hit by pitch. Joe Munitz with a successful sac bunt to get him in scoring position. And then the inning ends with probably one of those calculated risk plays as Eddie Gimbel trying to steal second to get in scoring position with 2 outs for the leadoff man, Brandon Garcia. But Gimbel out on the caught stealing. So that's how the inning ends. Garcia will lead off the bottom of the 7th for Lynchburg. And it will be a pinch hitter for Misericordia. This is Andrew Van Horn. Andrew Van Horn is a first-year infielder who will step in for Jared Hoffman. And that's noteworthy because Hoffman made that good play catching the foul pop from O'Kelly McWilliams, but got run into by his own second baseman. That could have been worse than it appeared. But maybe the reason for the change right here to get a new hitter, Andrew Van Horn, in to face Nick Matfield, who begins the 7th inning with a called strike. Matfield, right-hander, twists off an off-speed pitch. Van Horn can't figure it out, and he's in an 0-2 hole with nobody out to begin the 7th inning. And this could have been a change that Misericordia coach Pete Egbert was going to make anyway. Don't necessarily know it's because of any injury issues to Jared Hoffman. Could be just time for a move. Hoffman was 0 for 2. Flew out to left, grounded out to short. Lynchburg has made 1 change. Josh Jorman playing first base right now for the Hornets, who lead 4-0. Here's the 1-2 from Matfield. Flared to the foul left side of the diamond. Gavin Collins on the run. It hit the first row, but Gavin Collins could not make the catch. He got to the wall in front of the bleachers there in the nick of time, but it was just past the outstretched arm. So it's 1-2-3 coming up for Lynchburg. Garcia, Jones, and Madden. They all have a hit. All those hits came in the 3-run 3rd inning. Lynchburg has added 1 in the 6th. We are in the top of the 7th at Classic Park. It's game 2 for these two squads. You win this one and you really are in the driver's seat. Maybe with the Lynchburg Vibes train, we should call it the conductor's locomotive. Chopper from Gavin Collins. Got to hurry, throws on the run, but Van Horn will beat that one out at first. That'll go down as an infield single. Collins was back deep. Van Horn just kind of with a true swinging bunt that Gavin Collins could not get to in time. That'll be hit number 3 of the ball game for the Misericordia Cougars. And it does put a runner on first to begin the top of the 7th. Got a fun fact for you here. It's the first time the Cougars have had the leadoff runner on in this ball game. We're in the top of the 7th. Cougars have gotten 2 in scoring position in this game. 3 hits, 1 hit batter, and 1 walk. It was a 4-pitch walk to the 9-hole hitter, Owen Cordner. This is the 7-hole man, Jason Sanfilippo, third baseman, grad student from Wayne, New Jersey. Sanfilippo, hands back, waiting for the 1-0 delivery from Nick Matfield. Went inside, that's a called strike. Nipped the edge there with a sweeping slider. Riley O'Donovan's done a nice job as the catcher for Lynchburg. Sean Pokerock was outstanding as the battery mate for Wesley Arrington yesterday. Matfield throws to first. Runner back in time. That runner is Alex Van Horn. See if he stays in to play first base or not. For Misericordia, the Cougars are 39-9. They've won 12 in a row. Lynchburg has won 11 in a row. Those are all postseason games. This one fouled down the third base line. Count is 1-2. Lynchburg has won 15 of their last 17. So it's not as if they were playing bad baseball at the end of the season. But this is truly another gear. This is another level for the Lynchburg Vibes team, the Vibes train. Another pickoff attempt from Nick Matfield. We've been saying that a lot. Lynchburg, as a staff, their pitchers really have that commitment to keeping runners close, giving their catchers a chance. You give your infielders a chance on those double plays as well when the runner can't just bounce off and get the big primary lead, the big secondary lead. So it's not just shutting down the running game. I think that's the thing that gets talked about most when a pitcher picks to first. But there's definitely some value in just giving the rest of your defense a shot as well. Breaking ball from Matfield, swung on, lifted to shallow right center field. Quinn Madden, is calling for it, and then jogging in to make the grab for out number 1 of the inning. Runner at first, forced to hold. And I think we've got another change in the batting order here as the head coach for Misericordia walks down to talk to our home plate umpire and identify and announce the changes. It looks like it's going to be number 29, Brian Korchak. Brian Korchak is another first-year infielder for Misericordia. Back to that balance. They really have that. They've got some veterans. They've got some young guys. Lynchburg has that, of course. And even their young guys have playoff experience. Thinking about Brandon Garcia, Ben Jones, Sean Pokerock. It's really incredible to think that those sophomores were batting basically in the same spot in the batting order on a national championship team last year as freshmen. First one from Nick Matfield is not close, and it'll be a 1-0 start to the new hitter, Brian Korchak. Top of the 7th, 1 out. Lynchburg leads 4-0. Still so much ball game left. Don't count your chickens just yet if you're Lynchburg. Yes, you want to be confident. You want to feel good as a player, as a coach, as a fan. But you don't want to be overconfident. You don't want to think, well, this is going to be easy. Let's just get to Monday. And a reminder, if Lynchburg does win today, it will be a day off tomorrow. They'll come back and play at 10 a.m. on Monday with a chance to eliminate a team, whoever could win the loser's bracket game tomorrow. The loser of this game will take on Endicott. It is a double elimination format, at least in the pod play, the 2 brackets, the upper bracket, bracket 1, which Lynchburg is in. If you emerge from that, you get in the championship series. Of course, Lynchburg did that against Johns Hopkins last year. This is a Misericordia team that played Johns Hopkins and Cedar Rapids last year. Lost that opening game to the Blue Jays, 10-5. Misericordia ended up beating Endicott. They eliminated the Gulls last year. Could be a rematch coming up there. And then Misericordia was bounced out by Baldwin Wallace. Check swing and a strike to even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the fresh face off the bench, Brian Korchak. This is the 8th spot in the order. Runner on first with 1 out. Nick Matfield is set, looks over the front left shoulder, spins and throws to first base. Crowd making noise, dugouts making noise here. A 2-2 on the way from Nick Matfield. With 1 out, he got another one. Absolutely befuddling hitters with his breaking stuff. Nick Matfield started that curveball at the front hip of the hitter, and it broke over the inside corner for a called strike 3. Matfield has struck out 6. And of those 6 strikeouts, 5 are looking. It's 5 punch-outs looking for Nick Matfield. And again, that tells you about the stuff. That tells you how nasty his stuff is. When he starts it out of the zone and then breaks it in. That tells you that he can miss the plate some early in an at-bat. And even those balls that he throws are of value because it keeps the hitter guessing. The hitter does not know when that breaking ball is coming. The hitter doesn't know when the two-seam fastball is coming, when the changeup is coming. And remember, with Nick Matfield, you never know from what arm angle it's coming from. 2 outs now with a runner on first. It is another pinch hitter for Misericordia. They are not afraid to go to the reinforcements, are they? Another breaking ball, similar location as the strikeout pitch, but that's off the plate for a 1-0 start to number 45, Gabe Bunn. Gabe Bunn is the new hitter in the 9-hole for the shortstop, Owen Cordner. Bunn is under this second pitch. It's floating to left. Eddie Gimbel is there in plenty of time, and he has plenty of space to make the catch. That will end the top of the 7th inning. Nick Matfield continues to impress, and the Hornets hold on to their 4-0 lead through 6.5. It's game 2 for these squads in the D3 World Series. Lynchburg looking to add more cushion as we move to the bottom of the 7th. Stretch time at Classic Park in East Lake, Ohio. The Misericordia Cougars sent 3 pinch hitters up in the top of the 7th inning. One of those, Alex Van Horn, got a single, but he was left stranded at first. Nick Matfield got San Filippo to fly out, then a strikeout, and another fly out ends the top of the 7th. Nick Matfield has K'd 6. He's allowed 3 hits, one of those an infield single to Van Horn. And Nick Matfield has looked really, really good. He has got his team in position. It was a fun time there in the middle of the 7th inning as we played the 7th inning stretch. You know, baseball is full of so many great traditions, and the tradition of playing Take Me Out to the Ball game in between the top of the 7th and the bottom of the 7th is one of the great ones. And, of course, the Lynchburg fans getting into it with the root for the Hornets there instead of root for the home team. There are a lot of Lynchburg fans that have made the trip, and we thank you so much for listening to the ball game. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Lynchburg does lead 4-0 over the Cougars of Misericordia. Winners of 12 straight. The competition at this level gets tougher and tougher. The Hornets know that, but Lynchburg, they bring some tough competition of their own. Lynchburg leading 4-0. It will be Brandon Garcia to lead off the bottom of the 7th. He was up when Eddie Gimble got thrown out to end the 6th inning. That was the 6th inning where Eddie Gimble drove in Gavin Collins for the 4th run of the game for Lynchburg. Bottom rail fastball from Connor Marianac. The starter still out there for Misericordia. He has not pitched bad by any stretch of the imagination, but this Lynchburg team is so good that an opposing pitcher really has to be perfect. Being just very good against Lynchburg, especially in this postseason run, is just not good enough right now. You have to be completely buttoned up. You have to have every I dotted, every T crossed. It's a 2-1 count for Brandon Garcia, who's 1 for 3. Got the rally started in the 3-run 3rd inning. Garcia's going to try to start something here, a low pitch that he gets under and sends to center field. Catch is made there for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning. Kyle Hoehne hanging out with you as long as we are in East Lake, Ohio. And I want to encourage you again to get connected to Lynchburg on social media. LHSN team providing some seriously good content, unmatched, I think. Unrivaled, we'll say. Maybe some schools can match the LHSN crew and what we do with the social media and the online options, but I don't think anybody can exceed what LHSN is doing. 0-1 count. Ben Jones got hit. I think that one kind of clipped him on the right calf or even below that, just above the ankle maybe. Second batter that Marianac has hit. First one cost him. That was Gavin Collins last inning who came around to score. Let's see if this one burns the starting pitcher, Connor Marianac. Ben Jones is on first. He'll be a threat to steal. Benny Bombs is 14 of 18 in the stolen base department this season. Quinn Madden enters this game at 1 for 3. A ground rule double yesterday for Quinn Madden. He was in on the doubles party. The joke from Ed Smith, the strength and conditioning director for Lynchburg, was that when the Hornets offense heard it was double elimination, they thought that meant if you hit a lot of doubles, you eliminate your opposition. Lynchburg's got 2 today. McWilliams and Jones. Quinn Madden had the 2 RBI single in the 3rd inning. 0-1 count after a fastball. Madden likes the second one, swipes at it, fouls it away. Quinn Madden is the RBI leader for this Hornets squad. He's the doubles leader. He's the home run leader. And he is very much a leader in the clubhouse. Another guy like O'Kelly McWilliams, that's a transfer. But he has felt very at home in the Hornets uniform. The 0-2, check swing but poked away to continue the at-bat for Quinn Madden. Riley O'Donovan is on deck. O'Donovan is 1 for 3. He had a hit in the 3rd inning. Lynchburg does have a runner on first with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Garcia flew out to center. Ben Jones was hit. Jones bouncing off. Looks like he could be itching to run. Marianac set. Longer hold. Now he'll deliver. That ball is high, and it's a 1-2 count. Quinn Madden yesterday, it was a 1 for 5 day for Quinn Madden. Made 6 putouts in right field. He is about as active as a right fielder as you're going to find. And an outstanding defender. Marianac. His 1-2 is flared away by Quinn Madden. A foul ball. The Cougars of Misericordia had 3 pinch hitters in the mix in the 7th inning. So Coach Pete Egbert not afraid to make changes and try some new combinations. It'll be the leadoff man, McElhaney, up to begin the 8th. Here's another 1-2 that Quinn Madden will stay alive on and send back to the screen. Madden working hard. Some classic Lynchburg batting. They make the pitcher work. I always called the offense resourceful. They use all the resources that they have available. And then in these postseason runs, they find some resources you didn't even know they had. 1 out, runner on first. Here's another 1-2 and another foul ball from Quinn Madden. Just record it, put it on repeat here as Madden has fouled off at least 4 in this at-bat. Many of them in that same direction. It's a 4-0 Lynchburg lead. 4 runs on 9 hits. Hornets have only stranded 5, so they've been efficient. Marianac set, drops the chin, now throws. That one nearly hit Quinn Madden. He got out of the way, and it's a 2-2 count. Probably gave his muscles a little breather from all the swinging that he's been doing. Quinn Madden, strong, powerful guy. See if the doctor's ready to make a house call here in East Lake, Ohio. The 2-2 from Marionac down. Madden fends that off. He'll foul this down the third base line. So most of the foul balls were going behind him and a little bit to the right side of the ballpark. But this one, he was out in front of and he pulled. That tells you that he's on all the pitches, I think, for Marionac, though, because that was an off-speed pitch, but he stayed on it just long enough to get a piece. The others were fastballs, I think. Let's see if Madden can keep something between the lines here. Marionac looks over the target. Here comes the 2-2. Breaking ball, low and away. Madden holds up. Good stop in the dirt there by the catcher, Brock Bollinger. And now we've got ourselves a full count. A long at bat. Should have put the timer on this one. This has taken a while. See how much longer Quinn Madden can stay in the batter's box. Jones might be on the move here. Marionac's payoff on the way. Ben Jones is running. That ball was low and away. It's ball 4. Got by the catcher. Ben Jones took a turn at second and looked in, but Brock Bollinger was scrambling back to the screen to grab that one. So it's not a pass ball or anything. That ends up not mattering, but what it is an outstanding at bat from Quinn Madden. He fouled off at least 5 and worked himself into a quality walk. First walk that Connor Marionac has issued. So in the inning, he's got Brandon Garcia to fly out to center. Jones was hit by a pitch. Now Quinn Madden walks. Maybe some cause for concern for Misericordia from pitching standpoint. Nobody in their bullpen right now. Oh, he nearly hit Riley O'Donovan. I think O'Donovan's probably wishing he maybe would have just stayed in there and worn that one at the belt line or the right glute. But it is just ball 1. 1-0 start. Yeah, no activity in the Cougar bullpen. They could have guys already loose. You never know. Lynchburg has 2 on, 1 out. And this one spiked well in front of the plate. Yeah, indications and signs are not great right now for Connor Marionac. See if he could pitch his way out of it. Mound visit coming from the catcher, Brock Bollinger. He was seeing the same things I was seeing. Good baseball right there. Might have been told by the coach to go out and visit with Connor Marionac, but still very smart. And Riley O'Donovan, next pitch he sees will be a 2-0 delivery with 1 out and 2 runners on. So this is where, as an offense, you can see that the opposing pitcher is reeling just a little bit. Now you need to rock him. You need to make him pay for a miss right here. That's the game within the game. Yes, every pitch has importance. Every pitch can be the pitch. 1-run games happen. That happens all the time. But as a hitter right now, you've got that heightened awareness to know, hey, this guy's on the ropes a little bit. Let me go for a knockout shot. Let me go for a big blow right here. Maybe that means you go all in and you take a little bigger swing. Maybe it means you stick with your normal swing, but you're just ready for that potential mistake pitch. 2-0 delivery on the way. Marionac is set, checks the runners. Here it comes. That's a really good location, down and in for called strike 1. So O'Donovan there, I think he did the right thing by not swinging at a pretty good pitcher's pitch. Still got him on the ropes with a 2-1 count. Now there is activity in the Misericordia bullpen, by the way. Runners at first and second, 1 out. That one hits the outer edge. So a great mound visit there to settle Marionac a bit by Brock Bollinger. He got a good result after his timeout. Marionac comes back with 2 really good pitches. Now Riley O'Donovan's on the ropes a bit. This is the game right here, the battle between the pitcher and the hitter. The essence of our game. He hit Riley O'Donovan that time. That was a breaking ball that never broke. It resembled the first pitch of the at-bat. This time Riley O'Donovan stayed in there long enough to get hit by the pitch. And pretty pain-free as well, as it just kind of grazed him. O'Donovan sort of turned and rolled into that one a little bit, as it did sort of graze the left glute or belt area. O'Donovan's going to stay in and run. Thought we might see a pinch runner here as we are in the bottom of the 7th. And Lynchburg really looking to seize control. The man at the controls right now is Josh Jorman. He'll have to wait because we've got another mound visit coming up. This time, the coach coming out of the Cougar dugout. The bases are loaded in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Lynchburg leads 4-0. Again, this is where you seize the moment. This is where you take advantage of the opportunities. I think Josh Jorman's just the guy to do that. 5th-year man, another Northern Virginia guy. His dad is one of the all-time great high school baseball coaches, Pudge Jorman. And so many of the guys on the Lynchburg roster are here because of those connections with Coach Jorman. And Josh Jorman is a guy who, remember, he's missed multiple postseasons due to injury. He is a factor and a force in this postseason for Lynchburg. Jorman has 5 postseason hits. He scored the winning run against Case Western Reserve in the regional game where Lynchburg eliminated the home team. Lynchburg this season is 4-0 in closeout games, 4-0 in games where they can eliminate the opposition. This is not a closeout game, but this is a massive game. Mound Conference is over. Fresh count, 1 out, bases loaded. Josh Jorman is the hitter. He'll watch this one come in just above the belt for strike 1. Josh Jorman is ready for this. He has waited for his opportunity to do damage in the postseason. And the chance could be right now. Corners are in for Misericordia. This pitch is low and in, and our count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at third is Ben Jones. Quinn Madden leading off at second. The catcher, Riley O'Donovan, is at first. 2 hit batters in the inning, 1 walk. That one, good location on the inside portion of the plate. The count is 1-2 on Josh Jorman. Josh Jorman, left-handed swinger. He's in the 5th spot in the order. Eric Hyatt started here and went 1 for 3 in this ball game. Jorman's facing a 1-2 count. The pitch swung on, can't connect, and it's a strikeout. And a big out for Connor Marionette. The heart and soul of our game, I think, are these situations right here. How do you perform when the pressure is at its peak? If you're Misericordia, situation's slightly different. You're in a 4-0 deficit. Lynchburg, maybe it's the old playing with house money phrase. This is a guy right here that can go all in with anybody's money. He'll push chips in the middle of the table. It's Gavin Collins. Collins watches one. Knee high, called strike. Boy, Marionack, I thought he was reeling a bit. He's made some really good pitches. He's hit 2 in the inning and walked 1. He has made some really good pitches under pressure. Bases are loaded. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Lynchburg leads 4-0. The 0-1 to Gavin Collins is well outside. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Joe Munitz waits on deck. Munitz has struck out twice, did execute a successful sac bunt back in the 6th inning where this man Gavin Collins scored. Collins could bust it wide open right now. That one's not close either. Balk. They have called a balk. They have called a balk on Connor Marionack. A run will score on the balk. I think it was a balk. I don't think it was a pitch timer violation. We do have an action clock or a pitch clock that the pitcher is held to. You don't get all day to just stand up there. It didn't look like Marionack took a long time. I think that was a balk. Maybe he twitched when he came set. It was as the pitch was coming in, the umpire came up. Lynchburg on top, 5-0. 1-1 count to Gavin Collins. Oh, diving stab by the third baseman. Let's see if he's got the throw in time. It's low, it's picked. Oh, what a play at first. Lynchburg does score, but Misericordia with a chance there, and they make the most of an opportunity to limit the damage. Third base coach Oscar Garcia is thinking about a replay over there. It looks like Lynchburg's going to send the runners back out. So let me try to reset things. There was 2 outs with the bases loaded. Marionack threw a pitch and a balk was called. That gave Lynchburg the 5th run of the game. Hornets do lead 5-0. If this call is overturned, Lynchburg will be up by 6, maybe 7 runs. Did the second runner come around to score? No, Riley O'Donovan stayed at third. But if this call gets overturned, it would be a 6-0 advantage for Lynchburg. Lynchburg has used their coach's challenge. That is in play here at the D3 World Series, the NCAA Division III National Championship. So I believe the only thing I can think of is that Lynchburg is appealing. Did the first baseman come off the bag there on that stretch attempt? It's a diving stab in the hole by third baseman Jason Sanfilippo. Really made a good play just to keep the ball sequestered in the infield. Then he got up, and threw to get Gavin Collins out, who was really busting it down the line. The throw was slightly to the right field side of the first base bag. First baseman, I believe that's still Andrew Van Horn. Andrew Van Horn, who subbed into that spot for Jared Hoffman. Andrew Van Horn made a stretch to his backhand side, picked a tough throw, but did his foot come off the bag at first, or did it stay anchored? So your choices are this. Lynchburg will have runners at first and third with a 6-0 lead and 2 outs, or the inning is over and the Hornets' advantage stays at 5-0. So you're relatively up to speed on the situation. And I'll remind you now that you are listening to the NCAA Division III National Championship Baseball broadcast on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. It's brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Learn more about this great company and where you can find your future at MIOScareers.com. MIOScareers.com. And LynchburgSports.com is the website to stay up to date on everything Hornet related. Not just the baseball run here, but everything that Lynchburg's got going on sports-wise. All right, review is over. Let's get to decision. Umpires are walking back out. The call has been confirmed. Gavin Collins was out at first base. So the inning is over. Lynchburg does add on. It's a 5-0 Hornet advantage right now. And it's getting late. Nick Matfield's coming back out to start the top of the 8th inning. It's coming up next on the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network. Kyle Hoehne having so much fun on a sunny Saturday in Northeast Ohio. We're just a couple long fly balls from Lake Erie and not too far from the mighty Cuyahoga River as well. It's a really, really fun place to hang out and experience. And Lynchburg, the Hornets baseball team, has certainly enjoyed their time. They had fun a couple weeks ago in Cleveland at Case Western Reserve University. Lynchburg unblemished in the postseason so far. The Vibes train rolls on, and Lynchburg leads 5-0. Runs scoring on a balk in that 7th inning. That was Ben Jones. Lynchburg has 5 runs on 9 hits. Hornets have left 7 stranded, 5 of those in scoring position. Lynchburg has taken 1 walk, and they've been hit by 3 pitches. So the well-rounded, resourceful offense strikes again for Lynchburg. And defensively, this man, Nick Matfield, is twirling an absolute gem. He will get the 8th inning started with a strike at the belt line to the leadoff hitter, Garrett McElhaney. McElhaney's 1 for 3. 1 of 3 base hits against Nick Matfield. Matfield has walked 1. This ball is chopped to Ben Jones. 3 hops, handled, sidearm fling to Josh Jorman. There's the first out of the top of the 8th inning. Jack Regine steps in. He's the center fielder. 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice to the second baseman. 1 strikeout looking for Jack Regine. And it's 6 punch-outs total for Nick Matfield. 5 of those have been of the looking variety. And it's a Misericordia team that doesn't exactly strike out a ton as an offense. So the fact that Matfield's been able to punch out 5 in the backwards K variety, just the gaze, it says a lot to me about his stuff. Base hit bunt attempt by Regine is foul, and it's an 0-2 count. Lynchburg has 3 shutouts this season. There's 2 postseason shutouts in there. Lynchburg on the year now, counting yesterday, where they beat Endicott 7-2. Lynchburg, as a pitching staff, has 19 games now where they have allowed 2 earned runs or less. And that's happened 7 times in the postseason. So Lynchburg is pitching it at their best when it really, really matters the most. And you always say that. You always hope for that as a coach. It doesn't always happen, and I would say it doesn't usually happen. The teams that end up winning championships, well, it happens for them. And, yeah, maybe they survive a high-scoring game here or there. 1-2 pitch coming up from Nick Matfield. Check swing. He got another one. Matfield is slicing and dicing. He is sauteing out there. Nick Matfield is pitching a masterpiece. Strikeout for the second out of the 8th inning. That is K number 7 for the senior from Suffolk. Nick Matfield in complete command. He'll face the catcher, Brock Bollinger. Bollinger has reached once on an error by Gavin Collins. That's the only error so far of the tournament by Lynchburg pitchers. Guess what? While I was telling you that, Nick Matfield got strike 1. Matfield seems to have it all going right now. We're in the top of the 8th inning. Lynchburg is the home team. Visitors yesterday for the Hornets. Goes by seeding in those first games, and then you flip a coin. Lynchburg won the coin flip after the game yesterday. 1-1 pitch coming up from Nick Matfield. Number 33 twists one in there. This is yanked foul, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. This is game 2 of 4 today. It's an elimination game coming up after us between Birmingham Southern and Randolph-Macon. The ODAC rival of the Lynchburg Hornets is on the ropes. The winner's bracket game will be tonight. Salve Regina taking on Wisconsin Whitewater. Here's the 1-2 from Matfield. Put in play. One hopper to Brandon Garcia. He has it. He'll shuffle across and throw. And Nick Matfield has thrown 8 innings of shutout ball. He is following in the footsteps of his pal Wesley Arrington, and maybe even just exceeding that slightly with the way Matfield has been dominant today. He's allowed 3 hits, and Lynchburg will move to the bottom of the 8th inning on top 5-0. Our LHSN broadcast from East Lake, Ohio, the NCAA Division III Baseball Championships, is brought to you by Chaniga MIOS. And Lynchburg in control right now. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sorry, fans. Let's adjust that right there. Bottom of the 8th. Lynchburg is the home team, wearing the white jersey with the white pants. Misericordia, the Cougars, are the visitors in a dark blue top and gray pants. Cougars are on the ropes right now, down 5-0. They're down to their final 3 outs. Nick Matfield has been incredible, baseball fans. 8 innings of shutout ball for Nick Matfield. He's allowed 3 hits. Really, only one of those balls was hit that hard. One was an infield single. Matfield has struck out 7, 5 of those looking. He has walked 1. That was a little 4-pitch blip in the radar type of walk to the 9-hole hitter Owen Cordner. And then Matfield also hit 1 batter as well. Here's a fun fact right now. No Misericordia player has reached base more than once off Nick Matfield in any way, shape, or form. Joe Munitz leads off the bottom of the 8th for Lynchburg. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, did have a sacrifice bunt. Looks like a 1-1 count to Joe Munitz as our scoreboard was slightly on the fritz there. It is a 2-1 count now as Munitz studies a ball that's just below the strike zone. New pitcher out there for Misericordia. He's a left-hander facing Joe Munitz. Little left-on-left matchup. Coach Pete Egbert for the Cougars has not been afraid to go to his reinforcements offensively. This is just the second pitcher that Misericordia has used. Check swing from Joe Munitz, and now the count is full. Lynchburg used 1 pitcher yesterday. They've only used 1 so far today. Bullpen has gotten loose a couple times today. Fastball upstairs, and that's a walk for Joe Munitz. Second walk Lynchburg has drawn as a unit. They've been hit 3 times. The changes have been hard to figure out for Misericordia because of the way they use those 3 pinch hitters. Not all of those players stayed in to bat. This is McCurry. Here's a sacrifice bunt by Eddie Gimble. Great location down the first base line. Underhand flip from McCurry. He'll get him. David McCurry is the southpaw out there twirling for Misericordia at the moment. He's pitching in a 5-0 deficit. And after a good sacrifice bunt from Eddie Gimble, there's a runner on second with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. So a couple sack bunts for Lynchburg. They will use that part of the game as well. They will do the fundamentals. Lynchburg will use the small ball. There was a famous game against Bridgewater where the Hornets, I think it was 4 bunts in an inning. Just really put a lot of pressure on the inner defenses for the Bridgewater Eagles. Gonna get some kind of a review here. And I'm not quite sure if this was initiated by Misericordia or by Lynchburg. Did not look like Joe Munitz beat that ball at first base to me. Eddie Gimble, rather. Eddie Gimble was the one that made the sacrifice bunt to get Joe Munitz to second. But I will say that Eddie Gimble is out of the dugout now walking around. That was a fast review. That was one of the faster ones right there. And let's get the word from our umpires. Runner is out at first. They pointed that direction. So Lynchburg 0 for 2 on the reviews today. I got to confirm with our LHSN team, guys like Sam Rice, Tim LaDuca, Josh Smith, Caroline Gerke, our outstanding photographer. I got to confirm with them, but I don't think a coach has won a challenge yet in the first 6 games here in Eastlake. It's been a bad day for the bad tournament so far for the coaches. Good tournament for the umpires. McWilliams swipes at the first one. This ball is fouled straight back over our heads. It's an 0-1 count. So there is 1 out with a runner on second. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning, Lynchburg leading 5-0. Runner at second is Joe Munitz. Eddie Gimble out at first. One thought on the reviews is, especially late in the game, it's use it or lose it, so why not take a shot and try the review? Not always going to pay off. Something looked to be off speed out of the hand of McCurry, but that's a ball. 1-1 count on O'Kelly McWilliams. He's 1 for 3 today with a double. He had 2 doubles yesterday. McWilliams likes the 1-1, slashes up the middle. That's through. Joe Munitz gets the green light around third. He will hustle home, and Lynchburg has added to the lead again. O'Kelly McWilliams with his 4th hit of the tournament, 2nd of the day. It's an RBI single to score Joe Munitz. Lynchburg leading 6-0 now. 3 in the 3rd. That was the explosive inning for the Hornets offense. 1 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th that scored on no hits. It was actually a balk that brought Ben Jones in. It was 2 walks and a hit by pitch in that 7th inning. And now Lynchburg has scored their 6th run of the ball game. That is on 1 hit. Munitz walked, got bunted up into scoring position. O'Kelly McWilliams brought him home with a good piece of hitting. 0-1 start for Brandon Garcia. The leadoff man is 1 for 4 today. 2 hits yesterday. He was on thrice. Low and away on a off-speed offering from David McCurry. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike for Brandon Garcia. David McCurry on the season is 1-0. This is appearance number 10 for him. Looks like 8 out of the bullpen for the southpaw for Misericordia. Off-speed pitch again, low and away. 2-1. McCurry has a 5.82 earned run average. Batting average against is not great from a pitcher's perspective, 3.69. The 2-1 to Brandon Garcia. Hits the outer third of the strike zone, thigh high, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's 1 out. The runner on first is O'Kelly McWilliams. Hasn't run yet. He's the stolen base leader for this squad. O'Kelly McWilliams on the year, 32 of 38 in the stolen base department. McCurry hasn't thrown over on him yet. McWilliams will run on that. High fastball, good pitch to throw on. Head first slide. Bang, bang at second, but they got O'Kelly McWilliams, and that will be out number 2 of the inning. Another one to file in the calculated risk category. If you're Lynchburg, you know that stealing bases is part of the game. And you know O'Kelly McWilliams gets the swipes at a pretty high rate, but a great pitch to throw on an eye-high fastball. Here's full count to Brandon Garcia. Swung through it, strikeout, inning is over, but Lynchburg does expand the lead by a run. Hornets on top, 6-0. We are going to the top of the ninth. Nick Matfield sprinting out of the dugout to collect that ball and step back on the rubber for Lynchburg. He's trying to finish off a complete game. We're going to keep it right here in between innings. But I do need to remind you fans that our LHSN broadcast from East Lake, Ohio, the D3 National Championship, is brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. Find your career and find out more about this great company whose shareholders are all Alaskan natives representing our indigenous Americans. Chiniga MIOS is proud to support Lynchburg baseball. They're like a family, and they support each other with every victory. Join a workplace where teamwork and family values shine. MIOScareers.com. MIOScareers.com. Lynchburg leading Misericordia 6-0. Game 2 of the tournament for these teams. And it's shaping up quite a bit like last year, isn't it, fans? Folks that were around last season and remember that run? Lynchburg won the first 2 games in Cedar Rapids to put themselves in the driver's seat. Lynchburg got 3 consecutive complete games in Cedar Rapids. Last year it was Brandon Pond first against East Texas Baptist. Then it was Wesley Arrington tossing his gem against ETBU. Zach Potts with the 3rd straight complete game against Johns Hopkins. That put Lynchburg in the driver's seat in the championship series. The Vibes Train locomotive. It's more than just a train now. It is a powerful locomotive rolling down the tracks for Lynchburg. They are 11-0 in postseason play this year, and they're trying to continue that trend. Breaking ball, first pitch missed from Nick Matfield. It's a 1-0 count to the 4-hole hitter, Connor Marionak. The pitcher has stayed in the game. He has struck out 3 times against Nick Matfield. He has not been able to figure out the senior from Suffolk. Not a strikeout here, actually a well-hit ball, but O'Kelly McWilliams will retreat, head towards the warning track, and make the grab with plenty of room for the first out of the 9th inning. Actually, one of the harder hit balls that Misericordia has put in play today. Nick Matfield has been that good. Wesley Arrington was that good yesterday. The Sheriff struck out 12. He did allow 10 hits. Matfield's got a 3-hitter going on, and 2 of those were soft. Again, no disrespect to this Cougars team. They're a great ball club. They're 39-9 for a reason, and this win does not eliminate them. Joe Commons is the hitter right now, batting with 1 out, 1-0 count, as Matfield was high on the first pitch. This one's not. Chopped through the middle, so this will be hit number 4 of the game. 2 hits for Joe Commons. He becomes the first Cougar to reach base multiple times. A 2-for-4 day for the left-handed swinging 5th-year man from Warners, New York. Joe Commons is aboard at first with 1 out. Another one that was kind of soft. I don't want to take anything away from Joe Commons. I think it was a good piece of hitting, but it wasn't the highest exit velocity ever. Matfield has just been outstanding. Still got to finish it off, though. Still got to finish the game. Whether it's a complete game for Matfield or whether somebody has to come out of the bullpen, you have to finish the game. You have to win the game. That's your first priority. If you're the Lynchburg coaching staff, yeah, you'd love to be able to say we threw another complete game. But there's more to it than that. And Nick Matfield knows that. The hitter is Andrew Van Horn. He had the infield single off Nick Matfield in a pinch hit at bat. Here's the pitch, called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Lynchburg up 6-0 in the top of the 9th. Top of the 9th. Runner at first is Joe Commons. Here's the 1-1 from Matfield, low and away. You want to sprint to the finish line. Wesley Arrington certainly did that yesterday, getting the final 6 outs with strikeouts. Struck out 3 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th. This ball's hit well to center field. O'Kelly McWilliams tried to hunt that one down, but he'll have to settle for picking it up on 1 hop. Back-to-back base hits for Misericordia, and that ball was hit hard. 2 hits for the pinch hitter, Andrew Van Horn. Nice day for that guy. And he's on. And there's 2 on now with 1 out. Lynchburg leads 6-0, so you've got some comfort there if you're Nick Matfield. And you don't necessarily have to sprint to the finish line to finish off a great complete game. And it's still a shutout right now. Matfield's first pitch is low and away. Tried the slider and missed. It's a 1-0 count to Jason Sanfilippo, a grad student from Wayne, New Jersey. Nick Matfield is a senior right-handed pitcher from Suffolk, Virginia. The 1-0 is a better pitch, but also called a ball. Winner of this game gets tomorrow off. Loser has to play Endicott with seasons on the line. It'll be an elimination game in the loser's bracket. Here's the 2-0 from Matfield. Called strike. Went with the hard stuff that time. One of the rare straight ones that Matfield has thrown today. 1 out, runners on first and second. 6-0 lead for Lynchburg. How about a double play? Haven't seen one of those yet here in East Lake. Not for the Hornets anyway. Might be a great time for one. You're just 1 pitch away if you're Nick Matfield. He got a strike swinging from Sanfilippo. Filippo seemed to be a little frustrated and bothered by that. He'll step out of the batter's box, adjust the batting gloves, looks at the barrel of the bat, now gets back in and gets ready for the 2-2 from Nick Matfield. Matfield on the way. This ball's put in play. Left field. Eddie Gimbel sees it, running back, makes the catch for out number 2 of the 9th inning. Now Lynchburg is 1 pitch away again, thanks to the fly out there. Good play by Eddie Gimbel. Gimbel hasn't had to do any daredevil high wire stuff like he did in the Case Western Reserve Regional. But Eddie Gimbel has played a fine outfield. We got another pinch hitter coming in for Misericordia. This time it's number 10, Jeff Policarpio. Jeff Policarpio will step in. So Misericordia has used 4 separate pinch hitters in this game and some other guys defensively as well. Nick Matfield has gotten 26 outs. He needs 1 more to finish off a complete game gem of his own. This seems to be all Lynchburg does when you get to the D3 World Series. 3 complete games last year, 1 yesterday from Wesley Arrington. Ball 1. 1-0 count to Policarpio. Matfield looks in, sees the target, fires. This ball is high for ball 2. There are runners on first and second, so Lynchburg defensively has some options right here. And that'll give you a little more comfort as a ball club as well. The 2-0 from Matfield, right down Broadway, middle fastball. It's a 2-ball, 1 strike count. The undefeated postseason has been a thrill ride so far, and this game has been so fun to watch. More fun for Lynchburg, and there's Nick Matfield with a high heater. Got a swing and miss from Policarpio. 2-2 count with 2 outs. Nick Matfield looks to be completely comfortable out there. Hornets fans on their feet. Runners on first and second. Here comes the 2-2 from Matfield. Tried to nip the inside corner, but missed with the slider. And it'll be a payoff pitch, a full count delivery with 2 outs. Runners will be on the move here, so the Lynchburg infielders will know they probably have to throw across on anything but the hardest batted ball. 3-2 from Nick Matfield. On the way. Ball put in play. Left field. Eddie Gimbel on the way back to the track. Reaches up. Can't catch it. It's down. Runners will score. Both runners will score. The shutout is gone for Nick Matfield. And Misericordia with some late life. A crack in the door. Not completely closed yet. We said playoff baseball, postseason baseball is so tough. Every team is going to be good. Lynchburg knows that. They have the confidence of knowing that they're still up by 4 runs in this ball game. But the shutout is gone. It will not be a complete game shutout for Nick Matfield. There is a runner on second, and there will actually now be a pinch runner on second as number 2, Josh Berger, is going to come in to run. First extra base hit of the game for Misericordia. It was a pinch hitter. Policarpio stepping up in a big spot to keep the game alive. And here comes head coach Travis Beasley. That means that Nick Matfield's day is done. He will come 1 out shy of a perfect game. It's 8 2/3 innings of lights-out pitching on the mound for Nick Matfield. Really did not make many bad pitches at all. He ends up giving up 6 hits. Matfield did walk 1. He hit 1, struck out 7. So it will not be a complete game performance. We won't be able to say that, but we will be able to say that Nick Matfield did his job to the highest degree. And he did his job against a really good team with pressure on. Nick Matfield will exit the game with a 4-run lead. Offense really helped him out. Of course, as usual, the Lynchburg offense always seems to rise to the occasion in the postseason, don't they? But now Lynchburg is in the quote-unquote tight game, the one swing of the bat game. They lead 6-2 in the top of the 9th. The game is not over yet, and now the ball is in the hands of Colin McGuire. Colin McGuire will enter this game with some really good numbers. He is 5-1 on the season with 4 saves. This will be appearance number 25 for Colin McGuire. He is the team leader in that category. This will be relief appearance number 17 for McGuire. So there are 8 starts in the mix there for Colin McGuire. He'll enter with a 4.28 earned run average. He struck out 45 and only walked 19. Colin McGuire has emerged as an elite option in his first season with Lynchburg. He is a freshman from Cross Junction, Virginia, just outside Winchester. McGuire will enter with 2 outs in the top of the 9th, a runner on second. That runner is really insignificant because Lynchburg up 4 just needs to keep a big inning from happening. Lynchburg in the close games, in the 4 runs or less games, the old quote-unquote one swing of the bat game, Lynchburg is 17-7 this season. Misericordia is 18-8 in those same games. So Lynchburg still has that stat about allowing 2 earned runs or less. They did that yesterday for the 19th time this season. And it's been the 7th time in the postseason run that Lynchburg has allowed an opponent to score 2 earned runs or less. But the shutout is gone, and I would say none of that matters if and when Colin McGuire gets this final out. 26 down for Lynchburg, the 27th proving to be just slightly more difficult. Into the batter's box is a man that pinch hit earlier. It's Gabe Bunn. First pitch fastball from McGuire is low, and it's a 1-0 start. Gabe Bunn is number 45. He's a junior infielder for Misericordia. Waits on the 1-0, swings through that, and now our count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gabe Bunn has actually started 35 games this year, so he's no stranger to pressure, I'm sure. Hits .278 on the season. McGuire, right-handed first-year man, kicks and deals. This ball's put in play. O'Kelly McWilliams on the move, on the dive and the grab. He actually stayed on his feet to make a running catch right at the shoestrings. O'Kelly McWilliams is hunting that ball again, and Lynchburg is hunting another national championship. This Vibes Train Express is rolling again. Make it 12 in a row, a dozen for Lynchburg in the postseason. They did not lose in the month of May. They have not lost in the month of June. Lynchburg beats Misericordia 6-2 in their second game of the 2024 D3 National Championship Tournament, and Lynchburg really is in the locomotive conductor spot. They are in the driver's seat as a ball club, as Lynchburg will get tomorrow off. They will advance to what is listed as game 13 on the bracket there. Confusing, I know. But Misericordia and Endicott will play an elimination game tomorrow. The winner of that game has to come back and beat Lynchburg twice on Monday. It's virtually the same setup as last year, fans. And it's another one where Lynchburg wins the first 2 games of a tournament to set themselves up in perfect spot. The bullpen is in perfect working order. They haven't really been used. Colin McGuire only had to face 1 hitter, and he gets that hitter to fly out to end the game. Nick Matfield, tip your cap and anything else you want to show him the round of applause for a gem. Nick Matfield went 8 2/3. He did give up 2 runs on 6 hits, but he was dominant today. Nick Matfield was absolutely nasty at times, striking out 7, only walking 1. How about this Lynchburg offense? The big inning this time around was the bottom of the 3rd. They scored 3 runs there on 6 hits, and it was 6 hits in a row for Lynchburg in that inning. Gavin Collins was 2 for 3 today with a hit by pitch, and he collected hits number 199 and 200 in his career. Congratulations to Gavin Collins. Ben Jones had a double. Brandon Garcia got that rally started in the third inning. O'Kelly McWilliams had 2 hits, and he makes a great play to end the game there in shallow right center field, a ball that I thought he was going to dive for. The body language told me O'Kelly McWilliams was getting ready to dive, but the speed he has, he just stayed on his feet and made a catch right at the shoe tops. This is, once again, a classic Lynchburg win. They pull it off. They get up 3 early, and they keep adding on. They just keep doing damage. They keep hammering the opposing pitching staff, and Lynchburg's pitching staff just continues to be rock solid. Yes, the door was open for a brief moment for Misericordia, but Colin McGuire and O'Kelly McWilliams teamed up to slam that thing shut. Lynchburg wins it 6-2. 10 hits total for Lynchburg, same number they had yesterday against a really good Endicott pitching staff. Lynchburg is in the driver's seat. Again, I can't say it enough. The job is not done for Lynchburg. They know that. They know more hard work is coming up. I think they relish the chance to continue to work hard. I think this team loves it. This team needs the pressure. You've got some guys that in the regular season, it just wasn't enough for them. They needed the pressure of another postseason run. Well, they've got it. And Lynchburg is proving that there is no better team under pressure, at least right now anyway. Lynchburg undefeated at 12-0 in this postseason. They have won 16 of their last 18. Lynchburg total now is 37-15. Misericordia will fall to 39-10. Their season is not done, but a 12-game winning streak has been snapped at the hands of the Vibes train. The Lynchburg Hornets continue to stay on track, and they continue to roll down that track. We're in Northeast Ohio again, and I think Lynchburg is loving the trip so far. We will get set to end it here. It's been a really, really fun day again. We will talk to you again on Monday, June the 3rd at 10 a.m. And that's the first game of the day that day, so we won't be delayed. You'll need to make sure you're ready for some early baseball, a little brunch in baseball, if you will. We'll probably come on around 9:45 or so and get a little mini pregame show going on, set the stage. We'll figure out more about Lynchburg's opponent. It will be either Misericordia or Endicott. That elimination game happens tomorrow. 6-2 win today for Lynchburg continues things on the right track. Congratulations to Travis Beasley and his outstanding coaching staff. They do it again. Nick Matfield, high marks. Not a complete game, but just about as good as it gets for Nick Matfield. Hey, on the season now, Nick Matfield, or as some people like to call him for fun, Matt Nickfield. I think that might even be one of his social media handles, but it is actually Nick Matfield. He's now 8-2 on the year. That was start number 16. The ERA will be going down. It was 3.72 coming into this game. That will improve after another great performance today. Lynchburg offensively, team concept was in full swing today, and they get a really, really nice victory. 6-2. Hornets beat the Cougars from Misericordia. Kyle Hoehne will try to wrap it up here, and we look forward to talking to you again on Monday. That could be 2 games Monday. Lynchburg is 2-0, and it's double elimination. So if Lynchburg were to lose game 1 on Monday at 10 a.m., they would actually have to come back and play again at 4:45. Again, all the details are available at lynchburgsports.com. You can click through and get to the NCAA website there, and I strongly encourage you to get plugged into the Lynchburg social media channels. You're going to get some great content from this one. You'll get to feel out the vibes yourself, see what everybody's talking about, and learn more about this wonderful team. We thank you so much for listening. Our broadcast today and all week is brought to you by Chiniga MIOS. I've really enjoyed learning more about them, and we'll talk more about them on Monday. That's when we'll be with you again, baseball fans. We'll say so long today. Lynchburg wins it 6-2. The undefeated postseason continues, and the national championship defense just continues to be in full swing. It's full steam ahead for the Lynchburg Vibes train. We will say good afternoon, good luck, and go Hornets.